Greetings, stowaways. This episode comes with a content warning for corpses. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Jason Phelps. I've dropped my glasses.
Oh no! No!
An excellent start to the episode.
This episode will be entitled The Quest for the DM's Glasses.
No, they're here. And I am joined as
Groping in
ever.
glasses. That's not about looking for your glasses, that's about something else and also glasses.
And I'm joined as ever by Robbie Foursquare Meals Bellekom.
Yep.
Sam Foursquare Burns.
Oh, I miss Foursquare.
And Ellie, the square root of 4, or possibly in this case 5, actually 5 squared when it comes down to it. This has gone on far too long. Sparrow.
Am I just 2?
Actually, yeah, the square root of 4 would literally just be 2.
It's just 2.
However, today is 5 cubed, which is what I actually meant to go with. Sorry,
Oh.
so I should say I'm joined by Ellie Cubism, Sparrow.
I am
I actually
cube.
forgot my 3 because I dropped my glasses.
Oh,
I am cube.
Yes, because today is 5 cubed. We are in episode 125.
Ah, that's fun. We're not primed today.
No, 5 by
no.
5 by 5. Alternate rejected options included 5 by 5 Ellie, Robbie 5 by 5 Bellekom, and then I couldn't actually think of anything else.
Aww.
So, on that cheerful note, sod it, let's just skip straight to messages from the future. I can't think of anything else to go here. So let's cast our minds into the cubed square 5 of the future and demand, future us, what messages from the present?
Hello everyone, it's Colander with messages from some sort of kitchen. It's quite nice. There's a sometimes angry person who really likes making fish here. Come and tell the people what I told you about.
You want me to talk to the mirror?
Uh-huh.
Okay, small creature. You are really disturbing. According to this weird chicken scratching, this episode of Flintlocks and Fireballs is brought to you by you. A massive thanks to our crew members on the Flintlocks Patreon who keep this ship sailing. There's a wealth of extra content and bonus features for patrons, including regular blog posts, extra stories narrated by the cast, artwork, and a monthly poll for the community to design an element to go into the game. You can check it out at patreon.com/Flintlocks and Fireballs, link in the description. Now, tell me, small creature, how did you get into my restaurant?
I don't know. Bye!
So, with that in mind, on to announcements. A big thank you to Dragon Meat 2020's Podcast Zone, and especially to Mira, at Mira Manga on Twitter, for organising the Podcast Zone and inviting us to be part of it last Saturday. Our Dragon Meat 2020 special is now available as a VOD on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Flintlocks and Fireballs. If you want to check it out in audio-only format or watch it on our YouTube channel, it will also form the bonus content for episode 127 in a couple of weeks' time. We are an affiliate of Zavvi, fine producers of nerdy garments and handy household items. Remember, you can click through the affiliate link in the description and use code Flintlocks20 to take 20% off clothing and Flintlocks10 to take 10% off not clothing. And once again, we're involved with the online group heist game Agent Venture, the most fun you can have on a Zoom call while keeping your shirt on. Pull off a heist, infiltrate a base, and save the world with only a laptop, an internet connection, and your socially distant friends. Check out the link in the description and take advantage of their special festive vouchers at agentventure.com. And that's it for announcements this time. Back to you, past Jason.
Bye!
We stare into the void, and the void stares back.
Always.
Does the future include cubes?
I think the void is a cube.
Cube.
That's the void speaking back. Jason's lips aren't moving.
Imagine if you stared into the void stared back and just like gently whispered into your ears, Cube.
That would be kind of adorable.
However, speaking of the void, it's time to leap across it and into our introductory music as we prepare to begin tonight's episode of Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. That came in a little more intensely as a previously on this time.
Lovely, sexy previously.
Oh,
Previously
today's-
on Flintlocks and Fireballs.
no.
Okay, so today's previously on will be done by Felipe.
The Marks and
sure.
Spencer's lady, apparently.
Yeah, so, yeah. It's not just any
This is not-
previously on.
This is not just any previously on. This is a Flintlocks and Fireballs previously on. Hire me for fudge cake adverts. Anyway, I'm sorry. Please carry on with your actual previously on. by all means.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs.
Oh, you're just torturing them now.
The party are trapped. Damn it, I've gone French. The party are trapped in the siege of Newmark. They have had a number of successes up to this point. However, in the most recent night, after a successful bank robbery, they were attacked, the ship partially burned and the dry dock burned to the ground, as well as Quartermaster Vieg suffering serious injury. However, none of their friends or family were yet killed. In preparation for an attack that they know will come at some time between 4 and 5 a.m. the following morning, the party have sent away the most vulnerable member of the Kraken's Bane's crew, that being Corzin Horhace Jr. He and his bodyguard, Courage Gramani, have both gone through a teleportation circle back to... I can't sustain this.
Sexy teleportation.
I cannot sustain this because I've completely lost the Spanish now. Like it's not even Felipe anymore. I don't know what's going on here. I've continued on through the teleport circle back to Sul and the care of the Gramanis. Now, however, they must figure out a way to carry out an assault against the Resurrectionists. Okay, we're staying Sul against the Resurrectionists and the Reclamation Corps. They have at least been reunited with their erstwhile friend Clara Off and her new companion and actor/face Suk Saran, who is serving as Mistress Clara for the purposes of any mystical bullshit that Clara needs to do. Okay, seriously, I really can't do it previously on in that voice. I don't know why. In any case, you find yourselves in the sending room. The hole in the world has just snapped shut. The three of you and Molly stare at the empty space for a moment. Molly sniffs.
I go and hug her.
Right. Well, I guess I got a ship to prepare for a fight tonight, or tomorrow morning, whatever.
Yeah.
She gives you a quick peck on the cheek and leaves.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Like I said, that never gets any easier, but I'm just thankful he'll be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And hopefully,
I mean, he will be. There's nothing
Yeah,
going
with
on
our-
there right now. It'll be very boring.
with what we're about to do, we'll have a ship and a place for him to come back to.
Yeah.
I confess courage is a weight off my mind as well. Justice
Yeah.
of murderers.
Yeah, I'd rather not get on the wrong side of him, ever.
Yeah. So what now?
We need
It
to know
is.
how they're doing this.
9 a.m.
Yes.
on the 14th of Falling Leaves. Just to keep you up to date in time. The attack, you believe, will happen at between 4 to 5 a.m. the following morning.
Okay. Yeah, because we had
Yeah.
got super early breakfast with Clara.
Oh,
then.
you literally
Yeah.
got up at the crack of dawn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The best thing I can think of to do, if we want to find out how they're doing it, is talk to Philippe.
Yeah, see if he's heard of anything. Because, I mean, we could try scrying, but I don't even know what we'd scry on.
Well, that amount of troops, they'd have to be mustering there for quite a while. It's possible that they're already moving into position even as we speak. If we can be surreptitious enough, we might be able to get a look at them and catch them in the act.
Maybe, but how are they doing it?
Well, they're probably... Well, if they've got the ability to control that many raised undead, they're probably just telling them to go down there in squads. That's what I'd do.
Well, they don't
mean-
have that sort of mage power. This is not a normal... So there's something
No.
weird going on.
No, there is. I think we're going to need someone who has more of a direct expertise about this, and I think Philippe's it.
Would it be worth trying to scry on them initially being enchanted?
Possibly.
Worth it, yes.
Because, I mean, we might... I'm thinking if we're going to see Philippe, and we can tell him what kind of spell was cast, like what it looked like, even,
That's useful, yes.
then he might be able to tell us a little bit more about it.
Alright, so how would we phrase this then?
Well, we don't know if it's happened or not happened. So it would have to be just show us the initial enchantment rather than a time tense.
Alright.
And what if this time they've done it is... They've done it in a sanctum? Is this something you could do in a sanctum?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't imagine it's divination.
So it's
No.
probably...
Like, you can do necromancy in a sanctum, can't you?
As far as I'm aware. Oh yeah, you must be able to, because,
Philippe does it.
yes.
And I mean, they do it at army bases all the time, don't they? And you have a point.
That's what I was thinking.
So if we specify that we want this lot, then we might not get it.
We might not. I have 2
That's a
scries
problem.
left today. And they could be quite precious.
It's worth it, because unless they've taken a large number of bodies back to a place that is sanctumed, or gone to the trouble of sanctuming an entire graveyard...
Well, then weren't they taking them to the base? Wasn't that something that our spies said? They were preparing a huge number of the dead at their base, which is sanctumed.
I just want to mention, just as a small tactical note, I believe we've previously established if you try and scry on something in the past on future, and it's not possible for you to get a result for whatever reason, it uses up a use of scry, but you don't gain a tally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right,
what
okay.
I thought. We could come up with some way of specifying that we want to see them the first time they're out of the sanctum.
Or
Because
we want to
even
see
that-
the technique that was used, that like next or last time it was done outside of a sanctum.
That might be a bit vague,
Yeah.
I think.
Ugh.
We could say effectively something along the lines of show us those bodies the first time they're not in a sanctum.
Then we just see them walking.
Yeah, but we might
Or
see where they're
leaving
coming
the
from.
place. That would be helpful.
We might see how they're getting in.
They're coming from the other side of the river, aren't they? Which is where the base... Are they coming from the direction of the base? Because that's not...
We don't know.
The Fort Beatrix is indeed on the eastern side, so on the other side of the East River. Yes,
So they just came
saw
from the
vision
base
happening.
to the river. That's not a mystery. We already know that.
But how did they get so many in without anyone seeing?
We don't know that no one saw it.
True.
We just saw them coming out. That we don't know that tonight we won't get loads of reports of dead people walking into the river. It's not happened yet necessarily.
Well, I
DM
think
question.
Mm-hmm.
Did we look surprised? Like, genuinely, did our forces look surprised by this?
Yes, because the scry is based on information that was available at the point of scrying.
Mm-hmm.
It is worth mentioning that it was also an incredibly rainy night and visibility was savaged.
Mm-hmm. We did look surprised by it, but there wasn't a lot of visibility, so I suppose that could have helped them get them into the river without anyone seeing. Now it won't be a surprise because we do know that they're going into the river.
Yeah,
But
I
I
think
just wonder if it's worth us trying to stop them getting in. I don't know. Like, is that a thing we should be doing? I'm not sure.
definitely worth it if we can use that to hamstring their ability to overwhelm us. Also, now that we know that, we need to put the guards on the east side at the piers on high alert for that. They might not be able to see them entering, but if they're at least looking for it, they've got a better chance.
They also didn't know the time before.
I believe you passed this information on to Alton.
Yeah, we passed everything on.
So
we don't need to do anything
Yeah.
on that front. I think
Right,
if we're trying to stop them getting into the water, that's not that different from us trying to stop them getting out the water. At that point, you've got a walking army that we're not big enough to face. I think interrupting whatever way they're being controlled is a much more likely option for getting something done.
Yeah,
I
or if it's
agree.
an artifact or something, trying to destroy it.
Oh, nick it.
Oh, nick it. I mean, nick it would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Oh, God. Can you imagine any of us with control of an evil army of the undead?
No.
I mean, I can, and that's a problem.
I can, and it's Corzin.
Yeah, he's the only one responsible enough to get an army
come
of the
on.
dead.
You'd be
Just
the
a-
only one who could lead an army of the dead. The rest of us are just stupid things.
Just a
with them.
gentle reminder that you have heard a legend about a series of undead crewed ships.
Well, I made a flippin' deal with one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, my
we
vote
could
for,
ask him.
like, King of the Undead is going to be Corzin, so...
What if we asked him? Shawshanks, he's in the Dreamfold. What if he knows something?
Not a bad idea.
Genuinely, I mean,
I
he's
can't take
literally an
Shawshanks to
undead
be-
ship man.
Yeah. I'd taken that to be like the result of a curse or something, but maybe you're right.
No, but if I'd been undead for years and I was looking for a way to end the curse, maybe I'd look into these things.
That's very true.
Maybe if Philippe doesn't know, he's another avenue.
Yeah. Harder to get
agree.
to, though. It's a little bit hit and miss.
Yeah.
He does exist here as well, though, so you
Yeah,
might
but
be
I
able
don't
to
know if you
just
could send
to
to him. I mean, he's not really conscious, is he?
He sleeps, but he doesn't actually
He doesn't
stop
sleep,
being
that's
awake.
the point, isn't it?
Well, he dreams, but he doesn't actually stop being awake, so he's always on some level aware of what's happening around him.
That sounds awful. I feel
It
so
sounds
sorry for this terrible person
like-
that tried to kill us.
Like, so bad. Yeah. Oof.
It hasn't been the same since I got these other eyes sleeping, I have to say. I deliberately don't sleep with the belt on for that reason.
Oh, out of character, do you really want to set up that you don't sleep with the belt on?
That's so worrying.
Like, do you really want to give him that in, mate?
Just because it's an hour to reattune to it, so we just want to establish: are you sleeping with the belt on or not?
Because if we get woken up, like, and you then won't have the belt, and it will be canon.
It is
Oh, it's an
weird
hour
trying
for
to get to it is weird trying to get to sleep with it on because you kind of close your eyes and like it's like trying to ignore what the rest of your eyes are telling you.
Okay, I'm going to rephrase that slightly.
Yeah.
Well, I have to admit, it was weird the first time I fell asleep with this belt on. It's like I was asleep, but also aware of what was still going on around me. Odd.
I hate it. I'm sorry. That sounds
hell.
awful.
That sounds terrible. Ugh. No.
Well, we weren't hopefully going to be snuck up on, so there was that.
Hopefully not. I mean, we're never hopefully going to be snuck up on, but we always fucking are, aren't we?
Yep.
Well, better chance of being spotted.
Series of assassins leap out of the shadows.
No! That literally happened like 2 episodes ago. I don't know what you're joking about. That literally happened.
Well, at this point, it would be like, oh, come on!
Again? So, how about we start with Philippe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you're probably right, and it's probably not worth scrying. But I don't know.
I think we should try and scry, but I think we really need to think about what we say.
Yeah.
Because I don't think just seeing them is going to be any use, and we've only got one shot at this. They attack at dawn.
I mean, if we could dam the river before they get here, that might do something. If they're coming down the river from wherever, but
It's
I feel like
not dam it, but block it. Is what I'm saying. Block it so people can get past.
when you say block it, so
Like
people
a
can't-
grate.
like a grate.
Grate. I don't know.
In the
I'm tired.
river.
Yes.
Like
So you want to put
net.
like a grate through the
Like
middle
a
of the river.
A net, yeah.
Yeah, like a net.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to say, damming
go.
the river might have
Not damming
consequences
the
for the
I
local
said
environment.
damming, and then I realised that that's not what I was remotely picturing in my brain meets.
Half of Newmark is just flooded.
As much as that would change the course of the battle, it would also ruin the fucking city that we're trying to save.
Would you say half will be
Impressive engineering
flooded?
challenge.
Which half? Is it the enemy half? Because
Yeah.
I can live with that.
I have to say, the Fort Beatrix is on a hill.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
It would
We're also
be.
like on the coast. Damming anything here is gonna be really hard.
Like, you could theoretically dam it if you had like powerful magic or a lot of manpower and will to do it, but it would just, it'd just flow around
It
and
would just be sad.
straight out to the sea.
So what do we want to do first? Talk to Philippe? See if we can get some specifics?
I think scry first. If we've got any chance of getting more
Scry on
specifics, we
what?
can go to him with.
What do we say though?
If we are going with the hypothesis at the moment that it's either a spell or an artifact of some kind, then say, show me what is responsible for...
Can't scry on your object.
Alright, show me who is responsible the next time they're in a scribable location.
Then we just
No, that'll
get
be
the
just- that'll
person
just be
having their
them.
dinner.
Going to the shops.
Well, if they have it on them?
And we wouldn't know what it was
We won't
necessarily.
we won't get any information on what they actually do. What they do is the point, not who does it. We know who does it. It's somebody in the enemy troops. It doesn't really matter who.
We can't scry on objects or specifically.
Spying creatures and locations.
Yeah. I think we probably need to centre it on the undead. And I think we probably need to say something along the lines of, show us the first time, maybe show us the first time the undead that will be in the river tomorrow are in a scribal location. Because if they're being enchanted in not a scribal, in like not a sanctum, then it will be that. And if not, then we might get some information about where they've come from, what's happening.
Or
We might
when,
get something
yes.
How many scribes have we got left?
to...
Okay. That's not very many, is it?
No.
I hate to do that, and then if we find out any information, we've only got one shot at... Oh. But on the other hand... we've got
Or
nowhere
should we
to
ask
start.
Philippe first and see if we can get any more specifics from him? I don't know.
I still think our best bet is going to him with as much information as we possibly can.
I mean, what if we go to him with no information? He can't help us. We get the information as best we can and then talk to him again. Is there any harm in that?
Probably not.
But if we go and have a chat, but I mean, if we do the
There'll be
scribe
time
there,
anyway. Yeah, I mean, there's a sending room at the base, isn't there? Actually, he'll be at
That's
Azra's.
true. Yeah, there's got to be a room there we could do it in.
Surely. I don't know if they're even sanctumed, actually. Are they
Not that
sanctumed?
I'm aware of.
You haven't asked.
Yeah. But sanctums are pretty expensive, so...
Sanctums are expensive.
Sanctums are really
well,
expensive and they've been struggling to pay the
Sanctums
rent.
are expensive to have as a permanent enchantment. If you have a powerful mage, they can recast it every day to maintain a sanctum for
So
24
Philippe
hours.
could be doing it.
So it is conceivable that Philippe could be personally maintaining a sanctum.
Yeah.
let's go find
Let's
out.
go and ask him.
Let's go
Yeah,
chat
we'll
to him.
only find out if we go there, I suppose.
All right, you make your way out of the ship and get in a little longboat, are rowed to the shore and head over to towards the west to the west pier, and to speak with the Deadeyes. So you make your way.
Do we row down the river?
You have to row.
I can assure you we don't.
You row across the river. Because the ship is in the middle of the.
Yeah, we have to row over some of
Celestia
it.
just quietly sings, row, row, row your boat gently across the river. If you see a zombie there, die.
You are at
In
this
all
point on the other
seriousness,
river.
actually, while we're doing this, can I peer into the ethereal plane and see if I can see the bottom?
Yeah, you can. There's a moment where you refocus your attention and colour drains from the world. You are, apart from the shadowy echoes of Celestia, Scamp, and the crew members who are helping row the boat along, you are alone. The water below is still there. You can still see it, but it's because everything here is a little bit translucent and insubstantial at times.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of half see or sense through it. You are aware of the shale and stones that make up the bottom of the base of the river, about based on the depth of usual rivers, I think about 40 feet below you, because it's quite deep. Because it's quite deep draft here. That's why you can get ships in. You can. It's a little weird because there's no sun here. After a certain distance, it's just black up above. There's no light sources. Everything is sort of lit, but not. And you see a strange new mark beneath a starless, sunless, cloudless sky. The buildings cold and uninhabited. There's no vegetation here, not living anyway. There are trees in the same places they were in the real world, but they look cold and withered, as if someone took a snapshot of the living world and removed all the life from it and left everything to die. But no, apart from that, you can see the bottom of the... you can make out that the base of the river is about 40 feet below you.
And it is currently devoid of zombies.
It's devoid of zombies on the ethereal plane.
Okay.
You can't see. It's not X-ray vision. You can't see through walls. Exactly.
Fair. No. I was just double checking to see if they did actually show up.
If someone was on the other side of a wall, like if you were in a room and you knew someone was in the other room, and you looked into the ethereal plane, you might just about to be able to sort of make out the fact that there was a room beyond, because the walls are a little smoky and translucent, but you wouldn't get any live information on who was in that room. You might be able to see if there was a dead plant in there. Although it would be a living plant in a pot in the real world.
Right. Okay.
We also might have got more information from the ethereal plane if this was... Yeah, so
yes.
It's interesting.
You also know that there are no ethereal creatures immediately around you.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Although it does give me another idea. I'm going to come back and say, Celestia, how far away from you can you put those lights that you make?
About... Ooh, I think it's 60 feet, but evolving cantrips. Give me a minute. I think it's still 60 feet.
It's still 60 feet, but you can make more of them or make them look like a little weird glowy beast.
Can you put one straight down?
And wake up all the zombies that might be there.
Well,
it is worth noting you are on the West River now, and the zombie attack you saw was on the East River. That's not necessarily. Right. It's not necessarily a bad idea to look anyway. I'm just confirming which side of the river you're on.
Yeah.
I mean,
which river you were on, in fact.
I can
if
give it
there,
a go.
I think if they're there already, that does answer at least one question.
It does. Alright, let's do it. Let's see what happens.
And if they behave like any other undead troops that I've come across before, they will need to be ordered to do something before they do it.
Mm-hmm. I just twang 4 little strings on my guitar. Dun, 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 dun. 4 little dancing lights come up and just go into the water.
Okay, and drop down they do.
I'm going to look over.
Make a perception check. Visual, also with advantage.
Okay.
Can other people do that?
Yes.
Okay.
That is a 25.
16.
Okay, Celestia and Scamp, you watch the lights swirl down until they kind of vanish from view. Like Scamp, you can still make out some tiny glimmers, but this is. I mean, it's not the Thames as far as dirty rivers go, but it's still a river next to a city. With agricultural
the Thames in this
above.
era as well.
Dead.
Oh yeah, you could walk
I think it might be dead at this point. The Thames was dead for
only
years.
the zombies are making it. But you can. It is a little difficult to see to the bottom. Corzin, though, with your extra eyes, you are able to see the little lights hit the base and illuminate the rocks very faintly below. You see a couple of fish swim past, and that's about it.
Alright, well, it doesn't look like there's anything down there now, but...
I've never been more relieved.
It's also the wrong river, but, you know.
Yeah, but if they had secret ones in this river too, that would have been
That would be
knowing.
really worrying. I mean, it's worth checking, but I don't
Yes.
think I'm not too relieved.
Well,
I'm
at least,
paranoid about all rivers at this point. That's where I'm at.
Rivers,
well, at
Emotionally.
least it means
forests,
they can't...
we're running out of places to go.
I mean,
Everywhere's
also,
awful.
It's worth noting that this river does turn into Nightmare Land about half a mile further upstream. 4 miles further upstream.
Yeah, but that's
because
our Nightmare Land.
Because Nightmare Land lasts 10 days and you cast it on the 10th.
Yeah, stop.
That will wear off just in time for a couple of days before you're expecting your reinforcements to arrive.
Good.
But,
Speaking of Nightmare Land, after seeing Philippe, we should talk about if we want one of those anyway.
Oh, we definitely should.
We should.
Odds are they'll dispel it, but still.
it's still
That's a
something they
spell
have
lost.
to spend time and resources doing.
Yeah, that's at least one spell lost, and it
Yeah.
wouldn't be easy to dispel because it's quite a powerful one.
Yeah.
So it would be a matter of chance rather than it just happening, you know?
Yeah.
In the meantime, they're unable to coordinate.
Yeah, spell being lost is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
The boat reaches the other side of the river, and you make your way on to the Gilded Lily. Actually, you might not be the Gilded Lily this time, because you're heading to the restaurant, which I think is the Gilded Spoon, if I remember correctly, on the opposite side. Let's see, that's Bruno's Bangers, so we're a little bit past that. Check them out. This is all my paper notes still.
Much.
Here we go. The Gilded Fish. That was it.
Right.
You can go to the Gilded Fish restaurant and are shown to the back rooms and to the kitchen, where a somewhat because it's the morning, they're actually working, and you see a busy restaurant kitchen. Because while everyone is under siege, people still want to eat. Frying up various fish, and a red-faced and a kind of like ruddy-faced Ferocian man looks up and seeing you arrive and says in a quite local accent, "Hey, what are you three clowns doing in my kitchen?"
We 3 clowns are looking for Philippe.
Oh, you those
Anywhere?
bozos, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
down in
us.
the basement,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, give me a call if you want any fish.
Oh, I might do.
Will do.
See you in a bit.
Do you have any bananas? I feel like I still owe Jeffrey a lot of bananas.
We'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Okay, you open up the cellar door.
Is the code still the same? I think I broke the DM.
Oh yeah, shit, it is bananas based.
Bananas and oxen.
Yeah. This guy doesn't know it.
Yeah, fair enough.
This is like, yeah, okay. We'll assume that it is, although it really should have changed. But for the purposes of this,
For the purposes of sanity, we
we're
can
going
not
to
change.
keep it as bananas oxen. So like, yeah, this guy has no idea. He's like, I'll see what we can do with bananas. Sure.
No, I genuinely wanted bananas. That wasn't a code.
All right, fair enough. Sorry, it's very early. Excuse me yawning. Anyway,
I promised Jeffrey so many bananas.
So you and your pets head down these stairs into the cellar. There is I'd say a dark and cavernous room. It's a cellar of a restaurant, so it is a dark and cavernous room. If it weren't for the shelves full of like flour and spices and salt-packed fish, and also the living dead.
Oh.
Yeah, you find Philippe down there, and he is busy. There is a very strong smell of vinegar, and as far as you can tell, well, it's not exactly vinegar; it's a little bit more chemical than that. And as far as you can tell, he appears to be pickling a body. The body appears to have been stripped apart from some modesty clothing, and is quite actually in reasonably good nick. It appears to be a fairly built orc. One of what look like 6 bodies, either in the process of pickling in basically bathtubs filled with this chemical, or else in the process of being prepared for pickling.
What is that, embalming salts?
Philippe looks up. Ah, my friends.
hello, darling. How are you?
It is always a pleasure to see the 3 of you.
Always.
Hello.
You know, I met my second husband in a situation not unlike this, but that is a tale for another time.
This is a tale with some alcohol. That sounds exciting.
Would you pass me that hook over there? Thank you.
Where's it going?
I need to remove some of the unneeded organs.
Yeah.
Perhaps
I
a job
suppose
for
it's
when you are
excess
not
weight,
here.
isn't it?
I mean, we do have questions about dead bodies, so I don't know why we're getting squeamish.
Well, you know,
Because
what
of
they
the
say about,
unnecessary organs. I think that's probably why we're getting squeamish.
I started thinking about which of my organs were unnecessary, and I realised I was quite attached to all of them.
they are all necessary while you are alive.
Yeah.
But I believe there is a saying about seeing the sausage being made, yes?
I believe there is, yes. Ooh, can't stop yawning.
Forgive
Anyway,
me, I am in the process of making the sausage.
Yeah, I think the phrase is, if you see how a sausage gets made, it'll probably spoil your breakfast.
It's worth mentioning that Felipe, once again, is... it's been a while. He's a tall male half-elf, dark tan skin, colourful ruffled clothing. Although the ruffled clothing is somewhat pinned back by the leather apron and the elbow-length gloves that he's working with. The leather gloves.
Literally working on a dead body. Yeah, fair play.
However, there are stood up by one on the side a number of quite pickled-smelling formaldehyded bodies who are just standing upright and sort of at attention, not really doing anything. Mercifully, they appear to be wearing hoods with veils covering their faces from the eyes down, and a bit of gauze over the eyes. And you can see that they have indeed that they are waiting with muskets nearby, and have been equipped with a mixture of clubs and axes.
That's
as well.
Slightly threatening.
Right.
They are the latest batch. Once I have finished with these, I will attune them to one of the repeaters and pass them on.
Speaking of repeaters, we have some questions that aren't really about repeaters, but are about this sort of thing.
Of course.
Is there a way to make, like, several hundred undead that would all be active at once without anyone visibly nearby controlling them?
That is quite the feat.
But they still seem to be directed.
There are some conceivable methods, yes. I assume this is a concern you have about our mutual enemy, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a
Yes.
concern, it's kind of confirmed as what's probably going to happen.
Most concerning.
Yeah, they have repeaters too, which we're going to try and change, but they also have several hundred undead that are probably going to come out of the river.
I am familiar with the ways of the Resurrectionists and the Reclamation Corps. Well, to a degree, by reputation. You see, I did not train in Jova. I went to Haldanos and learned from the wise masters there. So the styles of magic I have learned are a little different. I am not up to date with what you would call the scientific community of magic.
Fair enough.
It may be that what you are mentioning is a new spell, one only recently researched. However, there are some precedents. He thinks for a moment and strokes his chin. There was the case of Guoji in the... Yes, this would be back during the Second Tang Empire. Guoji was a sorceress who had great power over the living dead. She was one who tried to carve out her own kingdom. As I understand it, she was able to gather large numbers of the dead, but her control over them was not as fine as what you have here. Indeed, it
That
was
matches
her.
up.
She
Yeah.
could give them perhaps a single order at a time, and they would march out and do that bidding.
Or like attack.
Perhaps a little more refined than that. From the legends, they would only attack her enemies. But it was very much a horde to be pointed in a direction.
You couldn't ask them to change tactics once they were out.
I believe that is the case. They are
Could you give them a
individually. They would
delayed
be
instruction? Could you give them a delayed instruction? Wait here and then do this
perhaps
when this happens.
if they would certainly be willing to do so. You must understand, the simplest undead, zombies and skeletons. They have, I do not know whether to say will but not mind, or mind but not will. They are easy to give commands to, because they have enough self to execute them, but they do not have enough will to choose wisely themselves.
So they're a blunt instrument, but
easy to command. They will not resist being given orders, because they have very little sense of self. But not precise. Individually, such a horde would be very weak, but there comes a point where numbers count.
Yeah. I think we're at that point.
Yeah.
And is there an upward limit to these numbers?
Perhaps. It would need to be a spell that could affect a mass number of creatures. Such a spell would be confined most likely by area, rather than precise number.
So,
Every creature within a certain radius, perhaps.
That makes
so
sense.
if you could get a large number of dead people all in one place at one time.
Indeed.
And how long would it last?
If it was a simple command, hours, no more than a day.
Okay.
So
That
we might-
might be all you'd need in a battle situation.
Yeah, that would be enough, wouldn't it?
If the person who cast the spell was killed, would that mean that the undead were uncoordinated, or would they just drop back dead, or would they just be vegetative again, waiting for an order?
If what you describe is correct, then they do not have the finesse of my new companions here. He gestures to the still sort of at attention undead. Casualties of the last attempt of the bowstring boys to try and claim our territory.
Mm-hmm.
But understand, I may command these precisely.
And remotely, yeah?
No. I must give these commands verbally.
Okay.
For instance, you... Sorry, one moment. I'm trying to think how many he has. He's 1, 2, 3... Yeah, he's got 8 up at the moment, so he goes, you. Form a C. Form an E. And he gives it a snap number of orders, and in turn, in a very much YMCA style, these undead stiffly form the name Celestia with their bodies.
Excuse me, that was
brilliant.
amazing.
He does a little bow,
Also deeply disturbing, but charming as fuck.
and then snaps to all of them. Resume standing at attention. They all snap back to the attention pose of
No,
before.
I get it though. You've got quite a level of control there.
And I do not have to maintain concentration controlling them.
You just have to tell them things.
I have command over these for one day, and then the following day I renew that command. The repeaters allow this to happen without needing to be manually renewed. But if my command were to slip, they would revert to their instincts.
If you were to die, say.
Or
No.
be
If I was
cut
to
off from
die, then they would carry out their last order until 24 hours had passed. And
okay.
then they would revert. It sounds like with this horde, they could be given an order, and if you killed the order giver, they would carry out the order until the spell ended. And then no one would be left to give more orders.
And the order giver wouldn't need to be within range for it to keep happening.
They would only need to be there when the order was given.
When the
For
spell
example,
was cast.
I understand the Reclamation Corps will sometimes animate less put together bodies, or even corpses of bulls and such, and one of the sergeants will order them to charge and kill those people over there, and then retreat and leave their expendable soldiers on a suicide charge. Not often. It is usually better tactics to have a squad of skeletal marksmen.
That makes sense.
But it is possible to do so.
Okay, so somebody's doing a big scary new spell.
Magic is always advancing. The cutting edge of science.
But if we can find the person who's doing it and kill her before they can give the order...
That was my thought, yes.
Yeah, or the other option is... Well, there's that option, and then the other option is they must have a big stash of bodies.
Yeah. Those are a bit vulnerable before they're living.
If we burn the bodies up before they have a chance to use them, that'd fuck them up too.
Yeah, we deny them the resource, yes.
Yeah, and if we're going in to get the repeaters anyway, it's a thought.
I think we've got the beginnings of a plan there, yes.
Because it doesn't sound like it's going to be an artifact that we can steal and use for ourselves.
It's going to be a
destroying the
person.
bodies wouldn't fuck us up either.
Is there a hierarchy within the Reclamation Corps that would be a reasonable indication of what they're capable of? Because clearly something on this scale has to be someone who's a very powerful mage.
I am not an expert in these matters, but from what I have heard, the 13th Regiment has some of the most skilled necromancers in the Empire. They specialize. The Reclamation Corps has existed for 30 years, and at least some of the doctors still working with it were part of the original battery. I know some of them by reputation, I believe. He thinks for a moment. The most famous ones, a moment, really thinks. If I remember correctly, there is their commander would be Dr. Quella Higgs, a half-elf. She was one of the first proponents of the use of the necromantic repeater in the Osirian army. There are a couple of others as well of note that I have heard of. Dr. Pfizer, Dr. Penelope Pfizer, and Dr. Pranav Ghosh. There would be others, but I am only going by names that I have heard.
That's fair.
Okay.
So yeah, I think our two options are get this person or burn the bodies. I can't think of another one.
No. Oh.
If at all possible, both, but yes.
Maybe we should... I mean, Corzin, you were thinking of this before. Maybe we should actually go and check if the bodies are there already.
I think we should, yes.
What was the information we had about the bodies? We had some information about...
Well, we knew that they were scouring burial sites around here for them.
Didn't they have a bunch of bodies that they were preparing? Where was that? Was that in the fort?
You believe it was in or around the fort. The Sunset Girls weren't able to get a lot of information before they were rumbled, or almost rumbled, and you managed to bring them out of the trap. So they found out that the squads were unearthing bodies and carrying them to a central point, probably maybe the fort, maybe near the fort, but they weren't able to find out exactly where.
Okay, so they might not be in the fort.
They might also be wherever the necromantic repeaters are.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're doing that anyway, we might be able to do two birds, one stone.
It would make sense to keep them close by.
I should make you aware of is that the shipment you stole for me was unusual because it was a shipment. It was new repeaters in transport.
Okay.
Most of the in war as now, most of the repeaters will be around the necks of the reclamation sergeants.
Yeah.
The living soldiers who give orders to the dead.
So we either have to kill them and take it, or at least steal it some other way.
I think it's got to be a kill them and take it sort of situation. I don't see them parting with it while living.
No.
I mean, spamming charm person is always an option.
I mean, it is my favourite game.
It's my favourite thing to do.
Level 7.
Give me your repeater.
Person.
You
I mean,
also
you
give
think
me
that
your
would work?
repeater.
Just get 10 of them close together and then just do the bonus action command. It's like point to the repeater. Give. Oh, okay.
So Dr. Higgs was the commanding officer, did you say?
Indeed, I believe she is.
Right.
Okay.
That's a start.
We have a name now, at least.
Yep.
I mean, that is something.
Limited scrying. Yeah. We can, but we only have 2. So they got to be good.
Alright.
I don't think it's worth scrying on a spell being done.
I think odds are it's going to be in the wrong
Yeah,
place.
Sanctum. I think we have all the useful information we can have about how it's done.
Agreed.
But next time those bodies are in a scribal location might be worth having, because if we see them leave in the fort, well, we know they're in the fort now. If we see them
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
else, we know where they
Also,
are. If our task is
We
now
might have
break
an
the
idea
bodies.
as to when that happens specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's check the river first. Because if
Agreed.
they're already in the river, that answers a lot of questions.
It does, doesn't it?
And also it takes away one of our options. We can't burn them if they're already in the river.
No, we'd need force damage or something else.
Yeah. But it gives us information that could potentially save as a scrying spell if they are. They might not be.
Yeah.
If they're not, we have more options and that's great, you know? But let's do that first and then go from there.
If they're in the river already, they can only walk along the bottom. So... we'd need a cleric. Never mind.
We have some clerics.
I think, if they're in the river and we're above them, we might be able to outmaneuver them.
How?
Yeah, what do you mean?
In what way?
In a sense of, clerics have abilities that are ranged, and they don't have the ability to return fire underwater because they don't have any ranged weapons. If we could get a cleric above them that could do something that was...
It's just so many, my darling.
Yes.
I mean,
But again,
yeah.
we'd have the luxury of time because they literally wouldn't be able to fight back unless they could swim up and get us.
I mean,
Which
that's
they
literally
totally
what they're going to
could.
do.
But
So if we start-
also think
if
about
we
the
start
weather.
fight,
You don't want clerics out of those boats in that weather.
I worry that if we start the fight, it will start. Does that make
Yeah.
any sense?
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you mean.
If I was ordering them, if the other side started attacking, I'd tell them to get out and start. So I'm worried that if we take one cleric there with the 3 of us and we'd fire some spells at them without already having set up everything on our side, we're fucked.
Alright, well let's try and take out the commanding officers then.
It's a good idea, but there's
Get
just
as
so
many
many, it'd take
pieces.
ages, and I don't know if they'd even have enough spells to do all of them.
Well, it depends on how strong the cleric is.
Yes.
It might be worth talking to our clerics.
Because they can do the thing where they make them all run away, or if they're
Yeah,
strong enough, they all
destroy
explode.
them if they're weak enough.
Well, we have what, 2 clerics?
You have 2 high-level clerics, plus, according to Alton's estimation, an additional 4 clerics capable of casting 3rd-level spells.
Okay.
And then you've got and then I think there's 16 clerics who can do aid once a day.
Yeah, which I mean is not bad in a battle.
They are staying in the hospital and doing cure wounds on people who are about to die.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, turn undead though.
Yes, actually, they could also be used at that.
Yeah.
We should have a chat about where we're putting our clerics.
Yeah.
We're going to need some on the front lines,
Well,
definitely.
The goal of this for the enemy is to destroy our strongholds, so keeping them there with the hospital's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I believe Alton said something along those lines anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alton's in charge of that stuff. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, now that he knows what's happening, he'll figure something out. Right. To the river?
Yeah.
The river.
Let's do that.
Okay. As you get up to go, Philippe says, "If I may offer you some advice,
Oh, yes, please.
make sure that you have any equipment you wish to bring. If you know any good alchemists, make sure you have potions and the like."
Oh,
Agreed.
wait, didn't we pick up healing ones?
We did healing
We
ones.
did.
You do have some healing potions.
Yeah.
We also do know an alchemist, kind of.
Do we?
Clara.
Oh, we do. I wish ask her if she's got anything good. Yeah, that's fair.
Anything good for undead.
Yeah.
Or bad for them, actually, but yes.
All right.
I mean, she literally made holy water a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a finger in a jar, hasn't she?
Yeah, well, she did.
She's grinding up the bones of a saint to make holy water.
Yep.
Bootleg holy water.
Yay!
Finally used for all of those fake fingers of St. John that used to run around back at the
Yeah,
day.
you had enough for 3 hands worth.
Oh, my favourite was at one point in the Middle Ages there were, I think, 21 holy prepuces. The one bodily remnant of Jesus being, in theory, Jesus' foreskin. Because obviously, that being circumcised at birth, it didn't bodily transport to heaven.
Of course.
Yeah. There are, I think, 2 still circulating around.
Oh, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So weird as a thing.
Anyway, you...
Jesus' foreskin aside.
Yeah.
Foreskin aside, you emerge from the cellar. Your nostrils still rank with the scent of formaldehyde, and you are
Probably
immediately
get peckish, I imagine.
and yeah, you are actually getting kind of peckish, which is fortunate because the chef presents you with 3 baked lemon soles and Jeffrey with a banana pudding.
Thank you.
It's like a banana split, basically. It's a baked banana with a bit of cream.
There you go, Jeffrey.
And a small little dish of seeds for Marjorie, who doesn't really eat them because Marjorie doesn't eat, but sort of noses them around politely.
Aww. The thought is
The
nice.
salt was there.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now, don't expect this
no worry.
every day, Jeffrey. It's not every day you rob a bank and need a reward.
There's a glance back. Wait. Oh, you heard about the bank robbery too, huh? It's all over the papers.
Yeah, I mean, Goldenkratz and Guildenstern robbing their own bank. What the fuck, huh?
What?
Yeah, it was them, didn't you hear?
No.
They hurtled out of a window or some shit. It was
I
mad.
heard some. Yeah, I read one of the dishwashers was talking about it. I don't know. Buy yourself a paper.
Yeah, we should definitely see what ended up being reported.
That's an excellent idea. Yes, we should do that.
And very quickly, you are able to find as you leave.
We scarf our fish.
You scarf your fish, head out, and very quickly there is someone going. There's a little
So
flat
weird that
capped,
formaldehyde makes you hungry, isn't it?
a little flat-capped individual outside with a stack of newspapers. No more times. No more times. Read all about it.
I'll take a
Bank
New Mark
robbery,
Times, please.
Ships burned. Okay. You pay a copper.
Oh, I pay a silver always.
Thank you. Takes the... Hey, thank you for the tip. Tip,
all
lady. Passes you the a copy of the Newmark Times. And indeed, the top headline, actually pushing the late night attack down, is daylight robbery at... Sorry, I should say daylight robbery at bank. They're stretching the term daylight. I mean, it was technically before sunset.
Just about, yeah.
Just about. There is a conversation about how a group of magically inclined criminals managed to seize control of the bank manager's mind on their way to arrange a sending for someone, and then infiltrated the bank. Yes, it definitely was.
What was that?
Yes, you definitely abducted. You definitely abducted the bank manager while he was off arranging a sending to find out about your property in delay.
Oh my god, that's
also
hilarious.
magically encrimed is a brilliant phrase, and we should use it more.
I love that he was going to arrange a sending to Quilena. That's amazing. Not to Quilena, about Quilena.
So, yeah, see, it might be a while before you get that information from them.
It's our own fault. Fair enough.
So, yeah,
You know I'm going to walk into that bank, like, tell me about that fucking whip.
The report further goes on to say, in a heroic fight with the bank security, in which fortunately there were no casualties, the thieves were able to temporarily make away with a small, with some cash and fleeing for their lives out through a window in a very flashy display of magic. It seems that they were able to turn themselves invisible, although there were reports of them being sighted less than a minute later elsewhere in the city, most likely using some sort of high-speed flight spell. There were additional reports of a small... there have been conflicting reports of a pair of flying creatures glowing brightly with magic flying through the sky. So it is possible that they may have polymorphed and changed into animals as part of their escape. Jeffrey is like...
Oh, dear.
However, the bank is happy to report that the criminals were caught 5 miles to the south of Newmark, making their it would be 20 miles to the south of Newmark, making their escape by horse. While a couple of members of the gang were able to escape immediate capture, the money was returned. Although a few small items are currently not accounted for, and if you have possessions to that effect within the bank, you will have been contacted directly about replacement or reimbursement for your losses.
A few small items. We've got literally most of the land deeds for the whole city.
No. I mean, those were bought. You didn't steal those from the bank. You actually only stole one set of statuettes and one land deed from the bank vault.
Oh yeah.
And all of their financial information.
Yeah, mostly we stole information.
We did steal it.
You didn't actually steal any money.
True, actually, we didn't. Yeah. We stole stuff. But,
Yeah. You just stole incredibly valuable financial details instead. Congratulations, you've kind of... Well, it's not exactly identity theft, but, you're perhaps a precursor to it.
Yeah.
Well, they have got a great publicity team.
Well, they have. I'm quite impressed, honestly. They've sold it very well.
The bank is offering however, offering a... is offering a 5,000 gold pound bounty for information credibly leading to the capture of or successful capture. 5,000 gold bounty for the successful capture of the 4 remaining criminals that escaped being captured. all of whom, with an awareness that they seem to have at least one illusionist aboard them. Bounty hunters should contact Goldenkratz and Guildenstern directly for the full details on what abilities and spells we believe them to have.
Well, I was a bald, muscly ginger human, so you know.
Yeah, but with all of our magic, it's pretty distinctive.
Fuck it, it'll be fine. I'm tired.
There's two
If
natural
we're
ones.
really desperate, we could go back and try and pose as bounty hunters looking for these people.
I mean, it would be so much fun to take out a contract on ourselves.
Oh, it'd be so good. Oh, let's do it if we live. That's genius. If we're still alive, like by tomorrow afternoon, let's go for it.
I'm so here
I mean,
for
if it's
that.
5,000 each, then that's enough for a ship.
Yes, but how are we going to bring ourselves in, Corzin?
It's information
It's
that
5,000
leads
for
to
the
a
lot.
capture.
No, sorry, I retracted that. It's a successful 5,000 for successful capture, and I'll add and lesser amounts for information leading towards a successful capture.
We have someone we particularly don't like, make them look like one of us.
You're a
incapacitate
bad
them.
person.
You're the worst.
It'd work, though, you can't deny that.
Who the fuck has magic like us? It'd have to be believable. I can't think of anyone I'd believe.
We're surrounded by illusionists at the battery. Well, not the battery, the Fort Bridge.
What, and the masquerading? The remaining member?
If there's any of them left.
One left.
The second article covers is night. Actually, this would be night raid on city dry dock. Defending ship damaged. Subheadline. Subline: Is the pyromaniac monkey to blame?
Oh no, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, you're causing problems.
Following on from a fire in the roof caused by the training of a stunt animal to operate explosives, the West Pier Company dry dock was nearly burned to the ground after a coordinated attack by Syrian forces last night. It seems that one of the defending ships, the Kraken's Bane, was damaged in as part of the raid, and it seems that the raid was conducted specifically to try and take advantage of a moment of what seemed to be a momentary lapse in our vigilance. However, forces were quick to respond and drive off the attackers. Eyewitness reports indicated what seemed to be a conjured equivalent of a dragon. However, we do not at this point have a testimony from a mage to corroborate exactly what manner of spell this is. We can confirm that there does not appear to be a dragon in the employ of the Assyrian forces at this time. The captain of the Kraken's Bane was not available for comment.
Too bloody right I wasn't.
Yeah, you're fucking busy.
However, if you can provide information credibly leading to an interview with the pyromaniac monkey, then you could win a free prize or your own, or a piece, the opportunity to say a piece of your like in the back pages of this newspaper.
I want a
no.
prize. Let's take Jeffrey and get a prize.
Jeffrey doesn't do interviews.
Jeffrey, for a
Exactly.
prize, would you do an interview?
Kind of one-sided,
He'd definitely do an interview for a prize, just saying.
especially if the prize was bananas.
Excuse me, is the prize reading the transcript of the interview afterwards? Because I want that to happen. How are you going to put it in the paper? It's just monkey noises. This is in character. Celestia's hitting nervous hysteria.
Yeah, Corzin is laughing as well.
Okay.
I have questions. Also, I want to be in the fucking paper for writing songs one day rather than weird shit.
Yeah.
Celestia Stardust wrote a wonderful song. Good for her. The
Not
end.
too much to ask, really, is it?
No.
Short
That's
reviews.
all I really wanted.
Yeah.
Aw.
You, all right. With that in mind, then, I think you're making your way on to the river. You stare out across the river. Well, you make your way through across town and then head to the eastern pier. On the eastern piers, I feel I should just describe the River Hound after about the Bow District, which is to the southeast of the Five Friars, which itself is to the southeast of Portland and ultimately the Battery. The River Hound widens out into the bay fairly quickly. So the narrowest point of the river that's still near the city is along Bow. I'm just going to see here. Yeah. So I guess if you want to head towards that point, you actually make your way to the point where you first came onto Hickory Island. Well, not first came onto Hickory Island. Actually, no. I'll just say, yeah, by coincidence. Maybe you would have docked on the other side. But you do hit the point where on that mad ride on Kerberos. You did after that mad ride in Kerberos, you snuck aboard. Well, you basically, I think Corzin got on a boat, and the rest of you hung onto the side and swum. But when there was that initial mad rush of rowboats, just trying to get away from the redcoats.
Yeah, when we first met Ellen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Our fateful meeting with Ellen.
And then that is where you find yourselves now. It is the narrowest point of the river near the city. On the opposite side, which, as I say, I think is about 300, between 300 to 400 feet away. Yeah, it's a little bit tighter than that. So about, varying between 300 to 400 feet away, depending on the angle of the river. You can see the other part of town. The cluster of streets that service the handful of piers on the other side of the River Hound, and it is quiet there. You do see the red coats of Osirian patrols around there, though. They appear to have established a small garrison, or at least a regular patrol around those piers, just to provide warning in case the rebels try and retake that side of the river again.
Okay.
Further away in the distance, you can see, just over a mile away, atop a small hill, is Fort Beatrix. The hill is near the sea, so it does provide some coastal attack, but it also covers the lands all around it for what you know to be a range of 1 mile of cannon fire. You can see that there are scattered smaller farmsteads and houses and small villages that spread out beyond beyond Newmark proper, but are still part of the under the aegis of the city, including a handful of what were probably some very fine manors before the fighting started, and may still be. Somewhere out there may indeed be Wayne Manor. Which I guess you have a deed to. There are here and there, but you do see there are there are also the spires of small Regency churches on some of those distant villages. One of which is about 3/4 of a mile from the fortress, and a little bit in from the. Half a mile from the fortress, and a little bit in from the sea. You can see that there's a lot. It is at this point a clear day, although the winds are picking up, and in the far distance, along the horizon, you can see the starts of clouds, probably the storm that is going to come in. So you can see all the way over there, and it looks like there is a military encampment around this one church.
Well,
You can see that there are tents that have been set up, a simple sort of, and you can see patrols, like little red specks of patrols. Although a mixture of red and black, actually, specks as well. It's kind of hard to make out exactly the details.
That'll be it, won't it?
You can also see, here and there, scattered patrols making their way along the country roads between farms, and also groups of riders. Small platoons of, if I just double check here, I believe it is bands of 10 light cavalry just combing the countryside as scouts, keeping an eye out for potential threats.
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, this is going to be hard to get into.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Could fucking do with a seaming, but I don't know if we know anyone else who can do it other than the Sunset Girls who are already in being spies and stuff. Although,
I suppose
actually,
it's-
should we get a message to them and let them know what's happening?
I think that's worthwhile.
Weren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah, didn't we? There was someone there at the meeting, wasn't there? One of their representatives.
There was a spokesperson, so they know
know
that's
what's
okay.
going on.
Good.
They're trying to pin down the fire starters still, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the plan.
Yeah, while you're doing this mission, they'll be doing their own.
Ugh.
Anyone else who can do a seaming? I don't think so.
Not that I can
Can
think of.
Felipe?
Maybe?
I mean, Felipe is on the way back to the ship, so if you decide to head back to the ship at any point, you can just
It's worth asking.
ask him.
Worth asking, definitely.
Yeah. Should we have a look in this river then?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's our first thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
So-
Dancing lights down.
Okay,
into
dancing
the-
lights down. Okay, so there is a limit to how far out you can send the dancing lights and still be able to see them, into the river. Because you're standing on the edge of the pier and going straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. But although I'm pretty sure you can do a goodly length of the river, going lengthways, eventually you'll hit a point where just the level of water, you can't use dancing lights to look at the very center of the river.
Uh-huh.
The center and bottom of the river without getting closer to that physically.
That's fair.
There's just too much water in the way.
Oh, yeah.
But same
But
as
it's not going
before,
to be
perception checks, please.
beautifully clear, is it?
Based on sights, so...
Yeah, you're
6.
not near Porto Omicidio.
12 again.
27.
Peering down, you can see weed, rocks, fish, but not at this time the living dead.
Sorry,
Alright,
I've
that's
dropped
good.
something.
So, there you go. Excellent.
Lovely.
So, what next?
Right, well, that's one question answered.
Gonna
Good.
stare into the ethereal plane for a brief moment.
Okay.
I did
Keep
it
the
the other
lights
side,
there.
might as well do it here.
Okay. You refocus and the other world appears. It is dark and still and quiet. And you do not see any ethereal creatures here waiting for you.
Alright. Good for now, then.
Okay?
Alright.
You refocus. I mean, technically, you do briefly see. I suppose actually, because I should mention it, you do see Scamp, because I actually got that wrong before, but overlaid with a bluish version of themselves, which is really weird.
Yep, they're still there.
Did you do the looking into the weird place thing? Your eyes went all
Yes.
funny.
All of them did.
Doesn't look like there's anything down there. At least not yet.
Not in that way.
Okay, well that's reassuring in some ways.
Horrifying in
Yeah.
others.
Well, it means
Burn
that
a church down is the
Yeah,
best
we-
plan that I have right now.
They might not be in the church.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a place they've been stockpiling bodies, it would have to be fairly close by to where they were actually going to get them.
Also,
So-
actually, the benefits of a church. If you've been stockpiling bodies for a while, they won't come back on consecrated ground without you telling them to.
Yeah.
I'd put them in the church.
It's also
Alright,
probably
so-
sanctum still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Could be.
imagine. Why is it
Alright,
always
so-
fucking churches? I hate fucking churches.
They are problems for us, aren't they? They keep being problems for us.
I imagine it's probably part of the consecration process. Alright. So, if... Slight advantage with this is if they're churches, they can't be as heavily guarded as the fort would be.
I mean,
No.
they can.
Well, they can't have as big a heavy walls as the outside. They can be heavily
Yes.
guarded but not fortified.
Very true. It's not
Yeah, no.
made for battle, which helps.
Yeah.
They have not Roman legion style, or I guess in this occasion Tyrian legion style, established like a palisade around that camp. It's unlike the actual brick fortress.
How on earth are we going to do this?
It's got to be a way. There always is.
That's not the phrase.
Can we send Marjorie in as an advanced scout?
I mean, yeah, but...
Only so far, though, isn't it, that you can see?
I can see. I just can't give her any new instructions, I think.
Yeah, because you can keep your eyes, you can keep seeing through Marjorie for like a mile, can't you?
Quite a way. Let me see the features of where's my book.
I suppose
It's
you could
orders
tell
within
her.
100 feet.
You could
That's
tell her
what
to go to the church and come back.
Yeah. If
you're comfortable with that.
You can give orders. It doesn't say anything other than that. Where's the eye bit?
Yeah, it doesn't specifically say. So I guess it technically you could do the whole fetch thing, and if you really wanted, you could send Marjorie just like hundreds of miles, so long as you maintained concentration on seeing through, seeing through her eyes.
Well, let's give it a go.
I
Because that
think
is at
the-
least something to do.
Yeah, I think the house ruling I'm going to go with is that Marjorie does need to be within 100 feet for you to start seeing through her senses.
That is fair.
Perceiving through her senses.
All right.
Okay.
On. So I'm sorry, my brain blipped. Can we send Marjorie and look through her, or no?
Yes, you can.
Excellent. Let's do that.
Okay. So Marjorie flutters
I'm
down.
gonna
and-
give
You know
her
when,
the orders
you know when a
to
sentence
circle,
just turn.
circle
Hold on.
it 3 times and then come back.
Okay.
She's less likely to be shot at than us.
Marjorie tilts her head, nods, and pigeons totally can blink, can't they? Yes, they can. They just can't even get their
Yes.
eyes around.
No, they,
Yeah, they've
they
like-
blink.
Sorry, I had a moment of I couldn't remember if it was. Is it just that they can't move their eyes, or
Yeah, they don't move their
yeah,
eyes.
They can't
but
move
they
their eyes
can blink.
independently, can they?
They sleep like the sleepy pigeons on a windowsill.
We see them move
They
their
have
eyes.
little closed eyes.
Sorry, so so Marjorie blinks, you blink, and you find yourself looking up from your own arm up at yourself. Your nose is a bit snotty.
Oh no, not again.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit down next to them and put their hand on my shoulder for if they want it, kind of thing.
Chaz. Okay, off we go, Marjorie.
Marjorie flutters up into the air and out. Okay, I'm going to need a perception check using Marjorie's perception, please.
Oh,
Damn, I should have given them
Using her
inspiration.
eyes. I mean, if you're thinking of that, if you think that just as Marjorie's about to taking off while she's still within 100 feet, Scamp can still call her back.
Maybe. I could give her a bit of help.
That would be
Worth
lovely.
Yep.
Marjorie turns around as per the telepathic command and lands on your shoulder, Celestia.
I look over and tap her on the beak, and a little bit of rainbow light comes out. Go on then. Do all the good looking.
Roll a luck check.
Luck check.
Yep.
Oh no.
12.
Marjorie does not shit on you.
Oh.
She can't shit.
Oh yeah, she literally
Yeah.
can't. I
Yeah.
forgot. Sorry, I really. We reminded ourselves of this literally earlier this episode, like 10 minutes ago. Yeah. Marjorie
cool.
does not shit on you, nor can she. But neither does another pigeon that flies overhead and starts like kind of flapping by Marjorie, like
Hey.
Marjorie just like disdainfully sniffs, and the pigeon like looks down, flies away.
Oh no.
Okay. Marjorie takes to the skies. But more like... perception check from Marjorie then, please.
Okay, what's the inspiration dice these days?
D10.
Okay. Okay, well that is not going to help. That is a whole 8.
Oh god.
Okay. Marjorie can still see some things.
There is a church.
Yes. Marjorie can get some basic information though. Like it's like she's not useless, and she does have a bird's eye, literally a bird's eye view of this. So she flies over towards the camp, keeping a goodly distance in the air. Part of the reason maybe you can't see too much is that she's erring on the side of caution and flying high and, importantly, out of musket range.
Yeah.
Well out of musket range as she circles around. Now, I need Marjorie with advantage to make a stealth check, please.
Okay. Well, stealth is not a skill that Marjorie has. Marjorie, why'd you do this to me? Marjorie's rolled a 7.
Okay.
Marjorie
With
has a +2
advantage.
to stealth and
dear.
rolled a 7 with advantage.
Oof.
Okay. Marjorie does notice a couple of the little figures down below glance up at her, but can't tell from here whether they think anything else of it. Okay, so peering down, you can see that in this... Okay, you can see the layout of the camp. At the centre of the camp are a couple of buildings and a patch of fenced-off ground. The main building is a classical Regency-style church. So a sort of a square base with a circular sort of dome, with a circular dome and a long spire coming out the top, with a couple of outbuildings, like building extensions to the side for where the vestry and so on would be. They're not T-shaped because they aren't under a specific compulsion to make their churches look like crosses, unlike in our world. So. That you can see does appear. She can definitely see there are guards posted on the outside of that. Next to it, and a little bit back, there is a squat, flat. Well, not squat actually. It's like maybe like could be conceivably 2-story tall, like 20 to 30 foot tall building of simple square stone. With, as far as you can tell, one entrance to it. It does not appear to have windows, unlike the church. And there is a troop of soldiers outside the front entrance of that. Difficult for Marjorie to get exact numbers. There's probably a dozen immediately outside that squat building, and there are probably about 8 guards on the front entrance of the church, and 4 guards on each side entrance. The guards around the church are all in red. The cluster near the square building is one of them appears to be red. The rest are in black. Everyone appears to be armed with muskets. As far as you can tell, hard to make out more from that. There is also the fenced-off area, which appears to be the graveyard. The graveyard, it appears that the bodies here have been exhumed based on all of the kind of opened up and dug up graves that you can see.
Okay.
It is sort of watched over by the group of 12 or so, watching the standing in front of the square building. There is then built around this a military encampment. It is well organised with square tents with nice wide open sort of streets in between them for easy access. And Marjorie would estimate that throughout the whole of this camp there is anywhere from... Let me just check. Troops outside. Like anywhere from 300 to 600 people. Not all of these are on duty. Some are resting, some are cooking or eating, some are standing on the outside, and there's a solid mix of troops in red and troops in black.
Do we know what the different uniform colours mean?
Corzin can make a history check here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the only one who would.
That is an 18.
You do. As a general rule, the Osirian army is in red, but the 13th Regiment uses black uniforms, sometimes with red stripes, to indicate their undead service members.
Right, so the black uniforms are those that have already been raised.
Yep. Those
Probably the ones that are using repeaters have been used on
and
there because they're
indeed-
standing guarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is what you can... I think that is mostly what you can see down there. There is probably of the 300 to 600, there might be around 100 sort of alert to one degree or another, with the rest resting to some degree. And you do see patrols going in and out. It is worth noting that during the circle, and I think actually no, with an 8, that is literally all you can get. You don't see any finer details than like just rough dispositions and positions of buildings. The camp itself stretches probably about. It's kind of extensive, and they give themselves space. So I'd say about 100 foot in every direction around the church and its building.
How the fuck do we do this?
I have no idea. We could try sneaking in. We could try getting someone to see us. We could do with knowing which of the people controlling the undead, but I couldn't see that.
You can't see anyone using repeaters actively.
No, but once they don't actively use them once they're on, do they? They just sort of sit there.
Basically.
From what you understand, once the undead are tied to a repeater, someone wears the repeater and then can give them orders.
So it wouldn't look any different to like just people giving orders.
Yeah, but they'd have to be wearing it in order to give the orders to the.
Yeah, but they're
undead.
not big, are they?
No.
They are literally necklaces. You know what they look like. I will say that in the group outside of the square building, sort of keeping an eye on the church, on the graveyard, it was of the dozen or so people there, only one was in red and the rest were in black.
And the graveyard's empty. They've dug everything.
Everything's been dug up. Like there's still a patrol there, like watching the approaches, as it were.
Why? Why are they guarding an empty graveyard?
I mean, if they're guarding the most precious asset in the church, it could literally be that they're guarding entrances.
Yeah.
The graveyard's a good way to sneak in,
That's true.
but not if it's crawling with guards, you know?
Yeah.
Whew.
Can you see through
could
the windows
also-
of the church?
I couldn't because I was flying around.
Yeah, you'd need to give Marjorie more specific orders.
Yeah.
By this point, she probably returns.
Right.
So I could
could
send
do
her
with-
again, but
We could do with destroying the church on the way out.
I agree.
I mean, we
All
don't
the
actually.
bodies are there.
The church ain't relevant. It's the stuff inside, which is.
But that's the thing. Like, I can't
Yeah.
do another way to destroy a load of shit at once than burn the building.
Unless they're in the crypt underneath, in which case burning it will do nothing.
No, it'll be satisfying. No, I'm kidding.
It'd bring a building down on top of it, which would mean getting anything out of the crypt would be that much more difficult. But
Yeah, but we're gonna have difficulty building a building, like a stone building, without someone stopping it burning.
Yeah.
Manpower is something they have.
just as an out-of-character clarification, is this church relative to Fort Beatrix further beyond where Fort Beatrix
No,
is?
the church is, for the purposes of convenience, I'm going to say, about half a mile from the other side of the river towards Fort Beatrix, and Fort Beatrix is thus about half a mile behind that. So it is worth mentioning it is well within the cannon range of Fort Beatrix, if they were so inclined, although that potentially would mean shooting their own encampment.
What religion is this church?
This is Regency, from what Scamp could see.
One of our clerics is Regency, aren't they?
Or
Yeah.
both of them.
I mean,
They both
no,
technically are.
they're
Saints.
They're heterodoxy,
Yeah.
so they're not exactly Regency. They're basically a split off from the main Regency church that doesn't acknowledge the supremacy of the regent.
I was just wondering if anyone would have spent time there and know about the inside of it.
I mean, they might, it is a church. They might have visited. There is a sort of somewhat fractious pluralism in Newmark.
It's worth asking, but I think
I mean, we might
We
even
don't-
just know someone who's been as a churchgoer. It's a church in Newmark, you know?
Yeah.
It's a fortress now, but
yeah.
it wasn't last week. It was a church, you
Yeah,
know?
if you know any followers of the regent in Newmark already, that'd be very convenient.
I'm sure we do. Like, most people follow the regent,
Yeah.
don't they?
Other
We don't have any
problem.
gun emplacements capable of hitting this, do we?
No.
No, because unfortunately, as described before, the battery can't effectively hit anything east of Hickory Island because Hickory Island's buildings are in the way. It's a case of really, really poor city planning.
Right, yep. Figured.
Well, they didn't need to. Fort Beatrix would have shot anything approaching from the east.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So, the other problem we have is that we need to kill or stop the person who's going to be casting on these things. They're not,
Yeah.
Who
they're
I
not
would-
necessarily here.
I bet my arse they're in the church.
They'd have to be here in order for them to be doing the spell, surely.
Yeah, but how long does the spell take? They could do it 5 minutes before the undead get up and go. If it was me, I wouldn't be where I'd potentially be vulnerable. Even with this level, I'd be in the big fort.
True.
True,
Although we don't
but if
actually
we
know
take
how
away
long
their
this takes.
assets, it doesn't matter.
Hmm?
If we take away the bodies, they can't do it anyway.
Yes.
They'll find something else to raise.
If they've been stockpiling bodies for months and we take away most of them, that's a blow.
No, it
Yes.
definitely is, but this mission isn't just about this. It's about getting the repeaters and stopping the most powerful one of them.
Oh, absolutely.
All
Don't
right,
think we
we've
can
got to
rely
get
on
into
them
that
being
church
here.
somehow.
Yeah.
Did you notice any graves in the graveyard that hadn't been dug up yet?
Marjorie didn't have a good sight of that. They just saw a lot of open graves. And yeah, with the 8 you had, you can't get any more information than that on that pass. You'd have to go out, look again, and possibly look with a different sort of intent or strategy for how you were searching.
Does this place have sewers?
No. Somewhat annoyingly, no, it does not yet.
Boo.
They might eventually dig them, but frankly, Newmark's just not been around as long as Alisont has. So the sewer system is basically ditches.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna say this. Out of character, I am stuck for ideas.
Yeah.
I'm seriously having trouble.
No, fair enough. This is. I've tried to design this quite fairly of like what security system arrangements they would use.
No, definitely. I'm not remotely criticizing. It's a lovely design. I just out of character. I am struggling for a next action to help with this.
If in doubt, phone a friend. It might be a way to do it.
Yeah.
So see if you can. You've mentioned some things already which you could do, and thought about people you could ask.
Maybe legitimately clerics. Maybe we should ask the clerics.
If they've been there, that will help. Also,
not our clerics. Our clerics aren't ones of the region specifically, but churchgoers.
All right, we need somebody who's been to this church. That's better.
Oh,
Right.
what about our friend at the place we robbed? The church
Brother
we
Jeffrey?
robbed. They were the regent, weren't they?
Oh shit! Yes, they were. Yeah, we could ask Brother
Jeffrey.
We're such bastards.
Was this actually thinking about it?
I hate us. We're the worst.
Was it Brother Jeffrey who was telling us that the bishop had gone over to this church?
Yeah. Well, no,
Hang
they'd gone
on.
over to the fort.
Brother Jeffrey isn't necessarily on the side of the revolution. That might be a problem.
No, but if,
I mean, it would be hilarious if we could, like, scope out another church by using the same informant who didn't know that's what we were doing.
The genius. I just don't know how we ask questions about the church's defences without it being really obvious.
Just the inner layout would give us some idea.
Okay, so...
Where you can get in.
But... Brother Jeffrey... Oh, why is he called Jeffrey?
I don't know.
Jeffrey puts his paws together and bows solemnly.
No. But the thing is, that they were a decent person. What's happening here is that bodies of unconsenting regent followers who were buried here with good faith have been torn from their graves to serve as a faceless army of the undead.
Fuck me, you're good at this. Let's go ask Brother Jeffrey. Yes.
I don't see how Jeffrey could... Brother Jeffrey, sorry, Jeffrey. I don't see how anyone can be okay with that.
My only concern... I actually like this, but my only concern is he actively on the other side enough that he will tell someone what we're doing?
I don't
Genuinely.
think so.
I don't think he is either. He was pretty neutral, really, wasn't he?
Well, it's up to you to decide based on your interaction with him. But he definitely, like, as what I will confirm is that his job seemed to be to stay here and, like, stop anyone going into the church.
Yeah, he was pretty chill, really.
Yeah.
A caretaking role.
Yeah. He was also not spirit-sighted, it's worth mentioning. He was a lay priest and thus hadn't been selected as one of the clerics to go over and actively aid the war effort.
Mm. Yeah, so he wasn't really involved in the fighting particularly.
No, he was basically, like, he's a spiritual advisor.
Priest is his job rather than, like, an ability he has. Yeah. No, that's fair.
He can't cast spells, he can just give you good spiritual advice.
Yeah. Let's try him.
Okay. You make your way back to the Church of St. Stitchfather, where you see a somewhat tired, bored-looking black-suited figure, familiar-looking black-suited figure, standing underneath the eaves of the church. You hear him idly muttering, "Feels like it's gonna rain."
It is.
Oh! Hey there!
Hi.
Hello.
Good to, if it wasn't my Well, I'd say 3 favourite parishioners, but at least 3 favourite church enthusiasts.
We do love the architecture.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's been a dull few days. I mean, obviously it's not. It's actually been a really tense few days when I think about it.
Dull would be kind of nice, wouldn't it?
For everybody, I'm sure.
I'm
I mean,
so looking
not
forward
a lot's
to Dull.
happened here. Someone painted the Purity Mission midnight blue the other day.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, that's a thing that can happen. Oh, dear.
Yeah. Yeah, we heard about that.
Yeah, there was. Anyway, he shakes his head.
We were wondering if you had a few minutes for a chat, preferably somewhere a bit quiet, if you wouldn't mind. We promise it's not to argue about your faith.
I mean, I've let you in once before, sure.
Thanks.
Unlocks the door, lets the 3 of you into the church. Pull up a pew.
Seriously, it's a little bit stiff in churches.
There is still, you can still see like a few little spirits here and there, kind of idly wandering around the offering bowls as if maybe, nah.
Bit bored, yeah.
Yeah. A couple wander over curiously to see as you arrive. I do believe you closed the vault after you ransacked the reliquary here. You closed the reliquary after you ransacked it, didn't you? Yes. So there's no obvious side of your previous intrusion.
Yeah.
He takes a seat opposite. So, what's on your mind?
Actually, do we know the name of the church at all? Or
No, but you know its location. It's about 150 feet from the coast, and it's about half a mile between. It's halfway between here
and it's across
and
the
Fort
river.
Beatrix.
It's
Yeah.
easy to explain. I don't suppose you've ever been to that church across the river that way, have you?
Oh, yeah, that would be. One moment. Okay, that would be the Church of St. Juniper the Martyr.
Ah.
Ah.
I used to do evensong there. Which
right.
presumably would still be a thing.
Okay.
It's been a while since I got assigned here. What do you want to know about it?
Anything and everything?
I mean,
mostly about the layout, entrances, exits,
right.
interior.
I know this sounds super bad. Super weird.
Listen,
We think there's something quite bad going on there.
I know that we have some disagreements. Hold on, when you say something bad, what are you talking about?
They've...
I can't.
Something that I think, from a religious standpoint, you wouldn't be able to tolerate.
So, you know how there's a bit of a battle going on and one side's over there and one side's over here?
I had noticed, yeah.
Yeah. The side over there have turned it into a military base.
Okay, I mean...
And they've
I
dug
could-
up the graveyards.
Yeah, I know.
They're using it as a recruiting ground.
His face darkens a little. Right. There is... technically a law that lets them do that so long as they rebury them afterwards, but
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
that is wait, St. Juniper the Martyr? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's not I suppose if they were desperate, but they wouldn't necessarily be in the best shape. St. Juniper is the nearest, it's the nearest charnel house to the city. I don't know if you've... it's not something that a lot of people gets discussed a lot. Sometimes you call them ossuaries. Charnel house is basically, we got one near the city on account of land is a little
Hard
like
to come by.
It can be a little hard to come by. I mean, like a little bit further out, yeah. There's all sorts. There's plenty of land for the growing the farms on and so on. But near the city, it gets a little bit tighter. So
I think they're playing jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, basically, what normally happens is someone. Well, we usually let someone lie in the ground for like a decade or so until the worms have done their work. Sorry to get a bit technical here.
That's fine.
Then, for space reasons, unless they've got a permanent plot, they will usually dig them back out and then arrange just the bones in the charnel house. The charnel house is consecrated, so they aren't going to come back, and besides, any bodies would have had the last rites done. Oh no.
What?
I mean, I've only heard of it happening, but they could have... It could be a desecration.
That's certainly what it seems to be.
No, I mean, obviously this is a desecration, but...
Do you mean a specific thing?
Yeah, in a sort of spiritual sense. Again, I'm not a cleric, so I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Well, they desecrated the church.
The only person with enough spiritual authority to have it happen would be the bishop. They must have been real persuasive. Yeah, so...
Is the bishop okay?
Clearly not.
Maybe
I
not.
think he must be under a lot of... They must be leaning on him pretty hard.
Well, that's like, how hard are we talking? Like, should we be doing a rescue here?
I think politically hard rather than kidnapped hard.
Okay.
If they've got him to do a desecration, then he'll want to reconsecrate it as soon as possible. It's right. So here's the thing. Your standard consecration, you do on burial grounds and especially in ossuaries and charnel houses. Anything. Now your last rites will cover any body you do it on, so it can't come back from the dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
sometimes there's always a risk that someone might get buried without the rites having been done on them properly. So as a double layer of security, the clerics will, with the blessings of the saints in the region, consecrate some ground so that the dead just full on can't raise there, even if they've not had the last rites done, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's an inverse of that. If you desecrate a ground, then it will strip away the protection even of the last rites. From what I understand, it's basically an open invitation to any dark spirits that want to play merry devil, so to speak. Now that is some really... Again, I'm not a cleric, but as I understand it, that is some seriously dangerous stuff.
Do they have control over any spirits, or is it just fucking free for all time?
Unless they have some sort of magic that I don't know about, it'd be a free for all.
Oh god.
Here's the thing, though. There's well over... I mean, there's gotta be well over 1,000, maybe a couple of thousand souls buried in that, interred in the charnel house there.
Very about the right number.
And there are more charnel houses within a few miles. So if they've been sending people out,
I think they have been.
then if they're exhuming bodies, which again they technically have a legal right to do, if they were bringing them there to the charnel house, as soon as they got dumped into a desecration, they'd be free to come back. Well, not come back, you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I know what
The
you mean.
people have
Be
long
taken
since
over.
moved on to be part of the world.
Alright, so we have a big problem on our hands, I think you'll agree.
I mean, it depends how long they've been doing it for. If they got started 4 days ago, then yeah, that's...
They did. I think they did.
Okay, I need you to keep this fairly secret.
We really need you to keep all of this entirely secret, or we have a massive problem. So could we just do
Yeah.
a secret trade?
What follows is between you, us, and the region, I assure you.
You're a priest. We're talking to you in confidence. Yeah, I'm going to
Partly
pull
makes
that.
the sign of the Regent. Okay, Regent, Regent, I hope I'm making the right choice here. Listen, we don't talk about this, because it makes people scared.
Bring it.
Generally, the more undead you have in one place, the easier it is for more bodies to rise.
That
Oh.
kind of makes
Checks out.
sense from what we've seen in the past.
It's like a beacon for the. As I understand it, again, I am not a cleric. This is just what I've learned by rote. It's kind of like a beacon for the dark spirits and the devils and all that to come and start taking hold of bodies.
Did you hear about what happened in Kion?
It's been a few months. News would have travelled. Yeah, that was a tragedy. What's supposed to happen when that sort of thing happens is the army comes in with a brigade of priests and they sort that
Yeah,
out.
that's what's supposed to happen.
But
They didn't. It was a mess.
They walled it
That's-
off.
that's a pretty clear example of what happens then when you get a lot of bodies in one place. Only in a charnel house, it's worse.
Why?
You have... Well, if you've got 2,000 bodies packed for efficiency, that's an even more intense density of
Okay.
available vessels, as it were.
But if they're in a charnel house, are they ready to burn already without being moved? Technically,
I mean, if they're
if you were able to, I don't know,
if you could,
activate it.
yeah, if you could keep. I mean, they've got to be keeping them in place. So the charnel house is actually. I guess I better give you these details. All right, so let's. I guess we'll talk about the. Which do you want to know about first? The church or the charnel house?
Either.
Okay, church is pretty standard design. Main entrance at the front. Then there's the big central nave where we hold all the ceremonies with the altar at one end, bunch of pews on the middle, and then there'll be one. Usually, I think in that one, there's one side entrance towards the vestry, and there's only the one. No, there's a second side entrance as well, actually, for where the choir would come in. It's pretty simple layout. Main central nave, and then there's a room for the vestry. There's a small reliquary room, and then there's basically the priest's quarters. It's fairly straightforward. The charnel house it's kind of one room, like it's one big room. With a big pit, which normally has like a ledge with steps that go down, so that you can stack. I'm going to be very straightforward here. We usually just the established canon is that by the time you've moved on to the afterlife and you're close to the will, you don't really need your body as much anymore. So it doesn't technically matter if we stack the skulls and the femurs and everything separately.
Ah, that's
Right,
fair
I
enough.
understand.
Efficient.
However, once they start coming back together, like the leg bone's going to connect to the hip bone automatically, you know. He looks up at apologetically at the symbol of the regent on the altar, makes the sign of the regent.
Obviously, they have been to rudimentary anatomy class. All right. So, question then: Is it too late to try and reconsecrate it? And if so, what would that do to the undead that are already there?
Well, reconsecrating it would ensure that no more undead raised there, and it'd probably drive any existing undead out. it wouldn't just destroy them in one fell swoop, you understand. But they've got to keep, if they are raising wild undead, they've got to keep them contained, probably just in the pit.
Makes sense.
What if we gave them a ladder? And would they just wander off?
Yeah. Depends, like, again, if they've got a way to control them somehow, maybe they wouldn't, but, like...
I mean, we said they've got a blunt instrument here. They're just gonna point them in the direction of their enemies and hope for the best.
Still remains my question about the charnel house.
Yeah.
If all the bones are stacked, are they ready to be burned? Is there a way to do that? Can we make that happen?
I don't know, I guess fill the entire place with explosives or something? Like, it's, again,
Potentially
like...
doable.
Symbol of side of the region.
I don't really want to... I don't know how we get that many explosives over there. Oh, wait, no, I do. I've got a bag, never mind.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
What?
Don't worry.
Anyway, yeah, I guess, like, if they're all in a pit, then, well, I guess it'd be... If you get enough explosives there, it'd be like shooting fish in a barrel. Like, they haven't got anywhere they can go.
Yeah.
What if... wait, like, bones burn at a very high temperature, don't they?
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
more than we can easily do, but if we smash them up, would that do it?
Yeah, they need to be fairly intact.
Okay.
For
Like whole bones.
Like, well, from what I've heard about from some of the clerics going on expeditions where they deal with this sort of thing, like, they do the rites and they have some tricks they can do, but honestly, if you smash them up enough with a club...
Or a lot of explosives.
Yeah, that'd probably do it. Bullets, not necessarily the most effective on account of, the ribs and the lack of flesh.
I suppose bullets are for piercing organs.
Yeah.
It's a really obvious statement, but it's the truth, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
stabbing
that's-
a skeleton isn't going to do anything, is it?
Like, it'll do something, like, you're probably going to hit something, but yeah, it's...
Harder.
It's not the most efficient way of doing it.
No. But a large amount of explosives in that pit could solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Or like a big wave of destruction. How big's this pit?
That's the point.
You do have a point.
One moment, I will tell you. I need to actually consult something because there is actually a range limitation that I'm aware of.
I guess you just remembered one of our party does radiant damage sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Destructive wave is a 30-foot radius from myself.
Yeah. From yourself, though.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning.
Oh, I'd have to be in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there only one way in or out of these charnel houses?
Oh, one moment.
Maybe, yeah, I think he's looking something up.
just
so
Sorry,
give us-
it
yeah.
just occurred
One
to me.
question.
It's alright, you can't see him looking at the book from where you are.
There we go.
Yep.
Yep. So I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, like it's... The main pit itself would be about... It's pretty big. It's like 40 foot by 40 foot.
Okay, it's not horrific. Yeah, but look, if I did
Nice.
2,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be worth 2.
worth it, yeah.
Or if they are stacked by type, you just really need to get the skulls.
Yes.
From what it sounds like, if what you're saying is true, they're gonna be self-assembling by this point.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that is a problem. They're not just... Like, it's not a matter of going in and breaking some dead bones, is it?
Yeah. The actual there is also it's actually a little bit bigger than that. There's like a walkway around the outside. It's about 10 foot wide, surrounding the whole thing.
How deep?
It is itself 40 foot deep.
Okay, so
Okay.
it's 40... So it's a 40-foot across...
40
circle?
foot down.
Hang on,
40
40
foot
foot
radius.
across. 30-foot radius. That's fine.
Hold up, let me just check because. Yeah, I guess technically you would just.
I can
need-
do 60.
Yeah. I really need to track this, whether that was 40 foot or 60 foot, but either way, you'd still probably be fine. Because they are at this point. Yeah? No, that is what I've said. Okay, no, it is. Yeah, it's basically the pit is essentially a 40-foot cube.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
I can't do maths. I'm like 30-foot radius. I can't get all of it. Yes,
You
yes,
can.
you
You
can.
get to the
do
center of it,
maths.
or even like
Ooh.
about 10 foot into it. You can.
Yeah.
To get, you would need to go into the pit to get everything at the bottom, though.
Yeah.
Because it is 40 foot deep.
Yeah.
Could be doable.
So if I made you fly, you just
Yeah.
sort of hover 10 foot down.
Do a destructive wave. Maybe put some explosives in while I'm down there. And then get the fuck out. And then you
I
can
think
fireball it.
We sort the the explosives while you're in there. You don't worry about them because gravity will take care of it.
Yeah.
And Corzin's got good aim.
Again, this is in confidence. You are a priest. Please.
But we
Right.
really don't like the idea of them. Like, I'm not hugely religious, but this makes my skin crawl. This is
Yeah,
wrong.
that's
Also,
fair.
you did say that you were on the side of the least civilians being killed. So
We're
Yeah.
trying really hard.
we're really trying.
Let's just say this is all under the seal of the confessional, okay?
Yeah, we're in the confession booth. Look
Yep.
at us.
The three of you won't fit in the booth. It's fine.
Thank you.
Listen, yeah, this is between you, me, and the Regent. Regent saved my soul. Right, okay. Yeah, that would probably do it, I guess. If you were able to do so, if you were able to get into there and do that.
The other question I have is, will the saint be pissed off?
Generally, the
Underdark gods are quite angry if stuff like this happened. I don't know if it's the same up here.
yeah, when it's you might consider this as something of a conflict between church and state. The I'm pretty certain the bishop's doing this under protest, but the state technically trumps the church here. So I personally would be very happy to see all those poor souls laid back to rest.
Understood.
And I suspect the while the regent is forgiving in these matters, it'd be better if there was nothing to forgive.
Saint Juniper the Martyr. Genuine and possibly stupid question. Is there a way to get her on side? Would she help?
I mean, like, I don't know. You'd have to ask the cleric attached to that church.
Huh?
Do you know what the circumstances of her martyrdom were?
Ooh, one moment.
Good question.
Yeah. Based on what? It'd be a local saint, so... Okay. Yeah, she, Yeah, she was a, cleric who, it's been a while now. Back when Newmark was still young, we had, and the wars with those Griffin riders had just started. They sent an army to wipe a bunch of us out, like some of the I think it might have been, yeah. She sent an army to wipe out the early. They sent an army to wipe out the early city. St. Juniper was, well, she and a handful, basically for a number of reasons, the defenders had ridden out to meet them and got outflanked. So it was kind of just the townsfolk on themselves. And she at the time was the cleric of St. Stitchfather. She actually had everyone's shelter in this church, being as the fortresses hadn't been built at the time. It was the most defensible location, and led the handful of souls that went out to fight them and hold them off long enough for the actual armed people to come by. As the name indicates, she didn't survive, but
a saint who was, sanctified for defending her people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Innocent town people against an invading force.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you could certainly, I'm not a cleric. I don't know how you make appeals like that short of praying, but I can pray.
We're pretty good at praying when it comes to it. You'd be
You're very good
surprised.
at praying. I mean, I had a prayer a while back that did things.
I did a prayer that did things. Cause it's your turn this time.
A question. What does she look like? St. Juniper.
Oh, thanks for a moment. There is a painting. There's a small icon that was moved into the church. Orcish lady.
As he's doing this, I'm going to do a minor illusion in the palm of my hand.
Yeah,
what
orcish
he's
lady, kind of slight build, like kind of like a grey umber skin tone. Dark hair.
Like this?
Yeah, but longer hair than that.
Longer hair, okay.
And depicted in the stand. She's usually depicted in actually kind of like what I'm wearing, but a dress,
Oh, okay.
like what she wore in life.
Like, slightly more femme that.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, the skirt should be a bit longer. Yeah.
Okay. But that's about right.
Yeah, that's like for someone who's not seen the icon, that's not a terrible likeness.
Okay. Just might be useful.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't tell you more than that. It was painted by like whoever the local artist was at the time.
I dismissed the illusion. No, thank you. That's potentially really helpful information.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think that's as much help as I can give you, unless you can think of anything else you want to ask. Well, maybe.
Go on, what are you not saying?
And for a penny and for a pound. Wait here a few minutes.
Okay.
Gets up and, with a nod to the symbol of the regent, goes into the vestry, into the back rooms. After a couple of minutes, he returns. Okay. He has a large leather flask and a small sort of silvery, a small bottle of silvery looking liquid.
Is that holy water?
The flask is.
Oh, that's quite a large amount of holy water.
Yeah.
There should be about 8 pints in there.
Nice.
Thank you.
And I've never used this. I've heard that sometimes this stuff gets used. This is holy oil. Should be enough for to apply on about 3 sort of weapons, or
It's done as well before, actually.
Indeed.
Yeah, maybe
I've had experiences with it. It's
9 bullets.
That is very good.
Listen, don't take this as wholehearted support for the whole initiative, but I can't stand for this.
neither can we.
This point, in this case, it's not about your politics. This is just basic wrong and right.
Yeah.
Basic
Yeah,
decency.
you're right.
This is wrong.
Yeah, we're not trying to put you on a side.
Hope this all works out for the best.
I don't know how you managed to stay not on a side, but we're not trying to put you on one.
Thank you. Just be careful when you're setting off bombs and stuff, because if you knock down a wall, it might become a ramp. if you get my meaning.
Yeah.
Understood.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, thank you for being smarter than all of us.
Celestia starts laughing. You make a very good point, Brother Jeffrey.
Yeah, that would be a disaster. I mean, they'd probably spread out, but no, that would not be good.
No.
You know
That would
what?
put
We've
far too many innocent people at risk, and that's what we're trying to avoid here.
We've
Yeah,
got to
it's
tell
not
our
all
lot.
soldiers on the other side, you know?
We've got to tell our lot when we're going in, just in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If we end up
this
with a load of shambling
sort of-
undead, we want them to be warned.
This desecration thing they've done, does
Yeah.
that affect this? Can we send from in it now?
Yeah, will it still be sanctums?
Oh, you mean that effect. I mean, that actually would have been possible within the area to begin with. Sorry, what you're talking about, the whole, like a sanctum?
Yeah.
That's an effect of all churches. It's
Oh.
basically once a saint has been worshipped and revered in a place long enough, they kind of become entrenched into it. Blind man talking about colours here, but it seems to kind of crowd out all of that stuff. So this place is sanctimed, but that's because this church has been here for 300 years now.
Okay, so the thing they've done won't change that.
No, but if they've got wizards there, there's I think they can
They
put
could have put
sanctums
one
up.
up.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
I would.
It'd be stupid not to,
Yeah.
if you had the ability.
Oh, I gotta say, this is horrifying, but it's honestly this is weirdly exciting as well. I don't normally get to I learned all this stuff years ago.
Imagine being us.
Ooh,
And now you're putting it to good use.
yeah. I don't envy you.
Yeah.
Listen, I know I'm not a cleric or anything, but if you'll accept a blessing, there is one.
I won't say no at this point.
Come here.
What
Don't
what
have
kind
to.
of blessing is it?
Just a benediction.
That's basically just nice words, isn't it? Okay.
As far as your understanding of it is, yeah.
I'm
This man is not actually a cleric, so
good, thanks. But
Yeah.
I'm not trying to insult you. I just feel kind of weird about it.
yeah, that's fine.
But maybe the other two, by all means.
Mind if I take a couple of drops of that holy water? Thanks.
By all means. How much holy oil did he have?
Enough for 3 melee weapons or 9 ammunition pieces.
Right, cool.
And you have basically 8 glugs of holy water,
Right.
which works as it does, in the player's handbook. So he
Probably
takes
want
a
to split
couple.
that up between us.
Yeah, he takes a couple of drops from the top and just basically sprays them on your flicks them a little on your forehead. Goes in.
Stand back.
In the name of the Regent and all the saints, may they watch over you and carry you to do righteous deeds, and just make sure you get home safe. Or if you don't, then your passage into the will is a comfortable one.
Brother Jeffrey, that was possibly one of the most earnest religious statements I've ever heard. Thank you.
I think you've been dealing with the political bishops too much, maybe.
I think maybe we have.
All right. Go with the Regent.
And you
Best
as
of
well.
luck to you.
Thanks for the help. It's been valuable, really.
Okay. You make your way out of the church. And before you head on to whatever your next point of call may be, or whatever further ally or support you wish to garner, we're going to see you after these, no doubt important, messages.
It is every citizen's duty to aid Her Majesty's forces in whatever way they can. When the dissidents are defeated, we will clearly be welcomed as liberators. There will be no need for you to like, rate, share, and subscribe to Flintlocks and Fireballs and investigate its Patreon. Nor will there be any leniency given to those citizens who have deliberately shirked their patriotic duty by predeceasing it. The Reclamation Corps accepts all applicants.
And welcome back. So, you depart the Church of St. Stitch Fathers. Where do you want to... Who else do you wish to see before you undertake your mission?
We totally should have thought about this in the break.
Yeah, we didn't think
I
about this in the
completely
break.
intended to.
We just talked shit in the break instead.
Anyone who can cast Seeming on us would be good.
Yeah, we need a seeming.
We should talk to Clara as well.
Yeah.
Philippe do
that might
seeming?
work.
You don't know, but you
Or
can
a
ask
face
Philippe on the way
shifter
back.
potion.
What was that, Sam?
If not Seeming, then Clara might have something like a face shifter potion.
Potentially. I mean, that'd be pure luck if she did, but...
Just thinking of what her
Well,
usual
actually,
wheelhouse is.
No, it wouldn't. Because
She was there that
she
time.
was there when you got attacked by a bunch of face shifters and cut them up
A
for
face
parts.
shifter potion and some uniforms would do us, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
She may still have a number of face shifter brains left.
If only we knew someone who was good at the tailoring.
Where will we find our tailor?
There's definitely not time for him to make us some
No,
uniforms.
there's definitely not.
But the fact that we have like a chemist and a tailor, perfect.
I mean, we literally that they might be able to salvage some of the uniforms off some of the people who attacked us in the battery the other day.
I mean, yeah, they might still have some uniforms. Let's go ask people things.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you want to see first?
let's ask Philippe if he can do seeming, because that's less
Yeah.
steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will, for the sake of convenience then, I'll say you pop back to the Gilded Fish.
I guess it's on the way
You
if
see-
we went
it
past
is on,
it anyway.
It is on the way. It's like a slight detour. And upon asking him, he goes, Alas, seeming is beyond my abilities. I specialize in different arts to the illusory. Although now that you do mention a bit of your plan, assuming you do mention this bit of your plan,
Yeah.
we have recovered. We did, when we were stockpiling bodies, take the opportunity to retrieve some from the initial attack on the city. So, I do actually have some uniforms if you sew up the bullet holes.
That would be useful.
Potentially very helpful, yes. You
Yeah.
can do mending as well, can't you?
Very slowly.
Well,
Well, if they're only
true.
bullet holes, it's...
We might just be able to sew them up.
Needle
Yeah.
and thread.
No, but my point is, we need to make it look like there weren't bullet holes there, so maybe we should ask Fighty to do it.
I mean, everyone's short on supplies at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if they're reusing uniforms.
Wouldn't
That's
wouldn't
true. That's very
mending
true.
work on something that small?
I just said that.
Yeah, the only
Sorry.
mending that Scamp can do is a 10-minute version. Although it
Oh,
will,
okay, right.
although it will heal it will repair an entire one at a time. Technically, actually, it's within a 5-foot cube, so I guess you could stack all three of them together.
Okay.
Oh,
That
well,
might be
we'll-
worth doing.
yeah, we can make it work anyway.
By this point in the day, it's like approach. You are at like a little bit past 11 in the morning, so like you've got time.
Should we go bug
Maybe
Clara?
afternoon.
Let's go bug Clara.
Yep.
Okay, you collect the uniforms and head back to the ship. Okay, so after flagging down your crew to row you back, you board the ship and head down to the lower decks, actually, where currently Scamp's room has been extended to Clara and Suksaran. The Fighty having decided, having managed to talk his way into finding somewhere to sleep, apparently. As you head to Scamp's room, you see Saran standing outside. She looks up as you approach and holds up a hand.
Everything okay?
Give her another minute or two. She's having the shakes.
The shakes?
She frowns a little. She did not have them when you knew her?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
She has a potion she drinks made from these small brains.
Yes, we know of that.
Oh, I see. Right.
She is...
Understands.
I think they are difficult to get. She has been diluting what she has. It takes the edge off, but she does sometimes get shakes if she hasn't had one in a while.
Is she in withdrawal?
Saran shrugs. She has said without them, her mind slows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that she'd get withdrawal. Withdrawal's bad.
It is.
I mean, the shakes, that's what it sounds like.
I have heard some things of her former mistress. She frowns.
She's dead now.
Good. But...
Very good, I assure you.
She shakes her head. She said once in a fever, she mentioned something about an alternative and not wanting to use it.
That makes sense.
Do you know anything about that?
Yes.
Yes, and...
The less you know, the better. Not to be rude, it's...
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Suffice to say the consequences of using that could be worse.
Yeah, not trusting you, just the less people that have that information, the better it is for everybody.
I see. Well, if it stopped her shakes, I would see it being worthwhile, but... I assume there is a reason she does not.
There are an enormous amount of other problems. I would understand if she did end up using it, but it's quite a big burden for a person to bear.
Yes.
You see Saran searching Celestia's face as she says this.
I try and look back steadily, but I'm not sure I do that well.
Roll a deception check. It's not really deceiving, but just a hold.
I'm not really deceiving.
Are you guarding your emotions?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I am.
For the purpose, I'm ruling it as deception.
That's not good for charisma from me, actually, which is quite good. 9.
Ooh.
She nods slowly.
How do you even roll a 9?
My deception's not that high. It's my lowest one. It's only like a +7, which is like nothing for me. Charisma-wise, though, that's not much.
Yeah.
If it's performance, I literally can't physically roll that low. but yeah, deception's not really Celestia's thing.
I see. Well, you hear
withdrawal's hard, but it passes.
You hear a coughing sound and the door opens. Oh, hello everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? Snap.
She laughs a little, looks up at Saran, who gives her a nod. Eking out what I have. I'm okay now.
All right.
I'm sorry to ask, But are you in withdrawal?
Something like it, I think. I don't know. You're really not supposed to have used this on someone my age.
Right.
I don't know how reversible the dependency is.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of come down so I can talk to her. Not like crouch like you do with a kid, like literally.
Just like kneel a bit so you can
like
on one leg.
Kneel down.
Kind of like when you wanted to talk eye to eye with Corzin, honestly.
Yeah, basically, it's basically the same motion I would do to talk to Corzin. Two things. Firstly, don't make eye contact with anyone while I'm saying this. I've done the whole withdrawal thing before. Was with opium, not with that, so it's a bit different, but if you want to talk about it at any point, I'm here. I understand. Also, I understand brain stuff on a different level, as you know. Also, our ship's doctor was quite... He couldn't fix it, but he might have some advice. He's very good.
I tried going without. I don't know, just riding through the shakes and everything, and the fevers.
My darling, you're very young.
It was like I couldn't think at all. And
And it hurt?
More than that, it's like I could only... She looks up to Saran for a moment. Saran, you know that I trust you. You want a minute. Yes. She holds open the door for probably you, Celestia, and Clara to step in to the room. Actually, probably all three of you and Clara.
I mean, it depends
to step in.
Clara's beckoning for.
Yeah, Clara kind of beckons, but like in an open way.
Okay.
So the four of you.
So to all this,
The four of you go in. Saran closes the door out after you.
She's a good friend, considering she's a bit stuck up.
She's better than she pretends to be. When you've tried to break off from it before, haven't you?
Yes.
When you did that, what was it like just going back to your own thoughts?
Muddy. Difficult.
Felt like it was...
Like I couldn't see.
Worse than before you had it, right?
Genuinely, was it? Like, I'm not sure.
I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, it felt like
it felt like a come down, but like, did it feel like it had made me
dumber than you were, as it were, than you were previously?
Yeah.
Like, you felt massively dumber by comparison, but there's no way to really tell.
Yeah.
Like, statistically, you didn't lose any, but again, it's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd have perceived it as like it actually made me worse than I was before I started with the eye.
No, but you'd have perceived it as feeling like thinking through mud.
Yeah, I mean, it was horrific. Yeah, like thinking through mud or oil or something. But I don't think it took anything off what I had before. I think it was more the come down that felt bad.
I don't know what the difference would be. I don't want to risk it. I think I've diluted what I have down. I'm not getting the full effect. I'm not as smart as I used to be, but if I don't have any, it just gets worse.
You mean you think it dulls you from what you were before you started using it?
Maybe, I don't know. Olga didn't keep notes on that specifically. I'm trying to avoid using it.
I understand.
Yeah.
But I do still have it.
I understand that too.
Absolutely.
How often do you have it?
I try and go as long as I can, but longest once every 3 to 4 days. The diluted one.
You're not doing badly.
Yeah, if you keep taking it at the rate you are, how much do you have left?
A few months, and then I need to try and find more of the creatures.
Or a more permanent solution.
She nods.
You can't go to the Underdark, darling.
Well, that's where they are.
I know, but you're a human child.
Yeah, trust us, we've been to the Underdark. That is not a place you want to be going.
I mean, in a few months you might have like an Utu, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I hate the idea.
I'm not utterly defenseless.
Oh,
I
no.
know. I'm not insulting you at all.
No.
But I know that you know your shit and you can defend yourself. I hope that I'm not making it sound like I think you're a defenseless little girl or anything. I really don't. But it's the Underdark and you're still a human.
No, I mean...
And also, the Underdark is terrifying. I nearly got killed in the Underdark.
She reaches into her coat's internal pockets and pulls out the small, shiny black stone that was in the heart of the Grim. No, I mean I can do this. She clasps her hand around it, frowns, and... Corzin.
Mm-hmm.
The colour bleaches out of her. She just turns into a weird, monochrome version of herself. Celestia and Scamp, she vanishes.
What are you doing?
I want to put my hand where she was.
Goes straight through through the space where she was, causing you see Scamp put a hand through monochrome Clara.
How are you doing that?
Where did you go?
She frowns at you, Corzin, and you see her mouth moving but can't hear anything. She steps back to avoid being in the way of Scamp's hand and...
She's still here, or
reappears.
Partially.
Ooh.
The colour flushes back in for you, Corzin.
Okay, that's a neat trick. You're meaning you could do your fast travel down to the Underdark?
Yes, but I can, there are pathways. Lots of they're like little holes into somewhere else, somewhere just behind everything, and the Heartstone lets me see the way to step into them.
Okay.
Is that how Olga got about?
No, it's but it is. I think it's how the Grim got about, and it's how Fingersnap moved.
Would you have to go on your own?
I can't take anyone. I can only what I'm carrying. But
all right. Well, keep us in the loop.
Did you go into that weird grey place?
I think so.
She nods.
I've been there a few times. I don't like it.
Just watch out for the creatures.
Okay, well, there wasn't anyone...
Well,
I was there. And
There
I
aren't-
was there, and I was there, but no one else was there.
There aren't a lot. Some of them can reach through the holes and snatch people.
I don't like that.
Most of them are small, just squirrels, foxes, nothing bigger than that.
well,
There was some in
darling,
the bank, I think.
They're everywhere, just spread out.
if you ever get to the point where you really need to go to the Underdark, which I acknowledge might happen, I understand. We might still have some friends down there. In a specific place. You might be able to go to them and they can help you out rather than being on your own.
She nods.
It's not a good place to be alone.
I know. What I need to find is either in high mountains or the Underdark, and it'd be in the cave wilds, not near cities.
Ooh. Celestia gets kind of weird at the mention of the cave wilds. You don't want to go there, darling. You really don't.
Unfortunately, that's the best place to find them. I understand they feed on the droppings of cave horrors.
Fucking hell.
Oh.
They sound pleasant.
I can tell you a lot about it. My mom sort of had a tradition of leaving you there when you were 11 to see if you would live and how long it would take you to get back. So if you need to know things, I can do that, but the idea of you in the fucking cave wilds is horrifying.
Well, we have a little time. Now, I get the feeling with everything going on, you didn't just come to talk about my problems.
No. No, we didn't.
But we want to help you with them if that's at all possible.
If I can find something, I'll let you know. Now, we shouldn't leave Saran out of this. She knocks on the door. Saran opens it. Everything all right? Yes. Do you want to come in? It's a little tight in there. You're right, let's step. Is this a conversation we can have in the galley, or...?
Not really.
Okay.
Come in.
Saran rolls her eyes, squeezes in, closes the door.
Go on, you can have my seat or stand up.
No, you're already into standing space at this
okay.
point. You are
Leaning on a
standing up.
wall.
Scamp and Corzin and Clara can just about fit on the bunk beds.
Yeah. The two taller people are standing up.
Yeah.
Well. Wouldn't happen, perchance, to have any face shifter potions, would you?
I can spot you a few, yeah. Yes, I can.
That would be useful if you could.
In terms of
also, obviously, we don't mind paying. Just because you're a friend, it doesn't mean we shouldn't pay you for your work.
Exactly.
Yes, you absolutely... Saran, the family. We don't count debts with family.
Yeah, but we also pay our freelancers.
You can say that about your own family.
Yes, you should pay your freelancers, even if they're in your family. Celestia looks at the camera.
Clara smiles. What I mean is, I know you'll help me out if I need it.
Of course. Without question.
Just maybe consider it a down payment on helping me figure out my problems.
Whatever
that
you
we
need.
can do.
Also,
Absolutely.
please tell us if you're struggling.
Yes,
We
I know
want
it's
to
hard,
know.
but we do, and
If I had a concrete lead, I would have approached
That's not the point.
Yeah, you don't need to come to us with answers. Come to us with your problems.
A, we might be able to help, and B, fucking hell, you might need to talk to someone, and I actually know what a lot of this feels like.
also, even if we can't immediately solve anything, sitting with it alone is never a good idea.
Yeah, I know you've had Saran, but...
Oh, thanks.
Oh, I'm not dismissing you. That was
She
supposed to...
smiles.
But my point is, your family is bigger than just Saran. You deserve the support. You boob.
She's right, you know. I know. I mean, I don't pay them. You barely pay me. True. Anyway, in terms of what I have on hand, I can give you 3 phase shifter potions.
That's amazing.
I'd need to prepare more, which would take time. You have 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
Give or take a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. That should hopefully be enough.
You need something. It needs to be a piece blood, fresh nail clippings, no longer or at least ones that were deep down, hair, so long as there's the little bit of skin on the end, or ideally just a bit of skin from someone who you want to look like.
Do they have to be living?
No. Not... Preferably not too long dead. But there needs... but if you can get a bit of something that's skin or flesh or like that.
Understood.
Super gross.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'll have to check the mortuary up at the battery.
It won't change your clothes, so you'll need to have separate clothing.
I mean, we've
actually sorted that, which is good.
Yeah.
Good.
What happened to the bodies? What were in them?
That's a good point.
I believe you saw them being worked on. Well, no,
Yeah.
they're all there, or they are somewhere else with the Deadeyes.
Yeah.
There are. You probably have to talk to Philippe about that, but I'm sure he could point you to their former occupants.
Yeah.
We might have to go bother Philippe again.
Well, Philippe's seen a lot of us today. He'll probably think nothing of it by this point.
Or check the mortuary up at the battery. The people who tried to attack us there might still be there.
Well, if we find Philippe's ones, the uniform size will fit.
That's true.
Yeah.
It has limits, so try and find someone who's broadly the same body size and shape.
Similar to a seeming?
Right.
She nods. You don't want if you gave one with an orc hair to Corzin, it'd be a weird tiny orc. Similarly, you would look like a really stretched out halfling.
Oh, we should so do that at some point.
No one needs to see that.
Wow. That's a disturbing image.
Oh, I just pictured if you stretched Corzin up to the size of me. It was terrifying.
Thank you for my nightmares.
Yep.
It doesn't map well.
No,
like
I'd imagine not.
Make sure
like a
not.
weird painting.
Yeah. Just make sure not to get any of Jeffrey's hairs in either.
What happens if
Understood.
we get Jeffrey's hairs in?
She gives Jeffrey a significant look, and then you a significant look.
Don't you dare, you piece of shit.
Jeffrey, behave yourself. Good
I love you,
behaviour.
really.
I might have another cup. I might be able to find something else. I've got a few things in my bag of tricks, I suppose you could call it, but what do you need?
What do we need?
Stuff that can fight undead.
Yeah, anything that would be useful against undead.
Preferably a large amount of undead.
I mean, I could try and make up some more holy oil, but it would take time.
How much time?
I could maybe have it done by, in a few hours, but...
It's a long time right now.
That may be useful later on, but
Also explosives.
yes.
I mean, if you had a way to transport them, you have
Yes.
gunpowder here on the ship.
Very true.
Yep.
You have kegs of black powder.
That might be the best way.
That's right.
I mean, how...
For more condensed ones, I do have some elven fire.
That could also be very helpful.
Be very useful.
it's going to
Take care.
have to... How hot does that stuff burn? It's pretty bloody hot, isn't it?
It's localized, but yeah, it can burn. The main advantage is that it sticks and burns.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it will float on water.
Do you have anything that could counteract that? Chemically, I mean.
I have some fine sand that would usually work to starve off the air.
Just thinking if we ran into the reavers is all.
For that you want to stockpile probably sandbags that you could empty out.
We can do that at a later date.
Noted. Yes.
If you wanted it to stop fire that was on the water, you'd need... I don't know, who's that dwarf you travel with?
Benny?
Yeah, maybe she could design something that could, it could deposit sand on the water. I don't know.
Something to talk to her about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
But
So-
I can give you a small bag of sand, and I can definitely. She can't. She reaches into her carpet bags. Actually, as she's talking, and produces the 3 weirdly oily little vials of face shifter potion. Gives one to each of you, and then let's just roll and see how many she has. Ooh, 9 small ampules of like an orangey sort of oily liquid.
Oh, fit.
Don't break the seal. They catch fire the moment they're exposed to air.
Okay,
Okay.
so this is glass. Chucking one at something would
Yeah.
do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Elven fire. Got it.
So this
You
is good for
really
getting
do
in
not
and
want to
bashing the
drop
thing.
things.
What would happen if, say, you had a large pit with a big barrel of gunpowder and some elven fire at the bottom of it?
Kaboom.
And then you threw like a fireball in? Would that be particularly
Kaboom.
bad?
Actually more like kaboom.
That would probably do it. Yeah.
Right. This plan is taking a vague shape.
It's starting
Yes.
to take a shape. That's promising.
Extremely vague, but it's there.
Yeah, it's a start. What about, we know they've got a lot of undead. Are they going to fit in this here pit that we've heard about? Or are there going to be another place that we need to worry about?
Sorry. Pit of undead?
Yeah.
Charnel house.
And we explain.
She frowns.
Yeah, we tell her
He
everything.
explains. It depends how many. If they're waking up all the time, they might be doing it in batches.
But will all the bones themselves fit in there?
All the bones that were originally in there, yes. But you
they-
say that
if
they've been
brought
picking them from
other
others.
places.
Then there's
It'll
a
be
risk.
crowded.
I mean,
yeah.
Philippe did say if this spell was happening that it had to be within a certain area.
Yeah.
When they
Like,
give the orders,
genuinely.
yes.
But we don't know if it can be done more than once. It might be that we've got a couple of people doing it.
It's possible.
Saran, by the way, obviously you heard absolutely none of this.
Saran raises an eyebrow. Darling, I have heard court secrets that would make you blush all the way to the ears.
It is surprisingly easy to make Celestia blush.
You have to tell me sometime.
Ha.
It is as the saying goes, some secrets you should take to someone else's grave.
Oh, I like that. That's a fun phrase.
It's an excellent phrase.
Laura frowns then. Anything else that you need? That's the
Ugh.
best I can do in terms of fire.
Some way to separate a bunch of wizards from their repeaters.
Yeah, like a miracle? Have you got one of those by any chance?
I think you used that up in Kion.
We definitely did.
Yes, we did.
You don't have several hundred troops and ships and stuff in
Not
your bag
here,
of tricks?
no.
That's a shame. Or, a load of guns. That'd also solve a lot of problems. Like a fuckload.
Like an unreasonable amount of guns.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to an arms
Like
manufacturer.
some potions of immortality for all our troops and none of theirs. That'd be nice.
kits
go
and
and bother
cloaks.
a weapons manufacturer is actually on our to-do list, but unfortunately we don't have time.
Beyond... That's... I think that's all. Big solutions are a little out of my league here. If there's something small, and that's alchemical, maybe I have something like it.
What do you mean you don't have potions of immortality to feed all of our hundreds of troops? God, you're rubbish.
Sorry,
It's been a very stressful 24 hours.
You don't have anything else that would prevent us from being seen, possibly?
That could be legitimately helpful.
Yeah, I can't do that many people.
She thinks for a moment. Starts rummaging through her backpack.
Dungeon Master's Guide.
Through her backpack. Well, I don't have invisibility or anything like that because I've not had anyone kill something that's invisible yet. By the way, if you ever kill anything with weird magical powers, please bring me the body.
Will do.
Right.
Bear that in mind.
Oh, on that note, actually, I've got some alchemical silver here I wasn't using. Have it.
Thank you. That's actually really useful. I'm trying to think what she can give you. Something to help you hide. Something to help you hide. Okay. Okay. I think we can do this then. Actually, I do have something. It's more of a last-ditch thing. Well, not last-ditch, but it could be helpful for... One moment. She rummages through and finds a sort of like... It looks a bit like a scroll case, but tightly packed into it is what appears to be sort of like a very wide cloak, like a little bit billowing. It looks old, kind of threadbare. So I think this is used once. So take care with it. But if you need to hide somewhere in a hurry, this should fit over the three of you. It should camouflage you. I think it makes it look like a rock.
It's like them cloaks in Lord of the Rings.
It's literally the cloak from Lord of the Rings, but it's
Yeah.
one use.
Those are amazing. I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so good when they do it in the film. It's
One
amazing.
time
Yes.
you can deploy this little cloak by hiding under it, and all three of you will just fit under it. If Celestia has it on top and the others, and it will transform to look to the outside like a random inanimate object.
Well, that's excellent.
An
Brilliant.
appropriate inanimate object?
An appropriate inanimate
It's just
object.
like a massive fucking dildo, mate.
Just if we're in the middle of like a building and we're a rock,
Yeah.
it's not really that good camouflage.
There you have a point.
Olga's note said that it could take had taken a few different forms, a tree, a rock, something stationary. Once I think a brick oven, but it was down, she'd been counting and she seemed to think it was down to one last use.
All right.
Okay, well that's good to know.
Are you sure you want to give that to us?
I mean, where else? I mean, this seems like a time to use it.
Yes. If we don't use it though, remind us and we'll give it back when we come back.
Yeah.
Please do. I try and collect these things when I can, but it depends when I find them.
Also, just more generally, is there anything that you'd like us to keep our eyes out specifically that you can use?
anything magical. Anything. There are a passel of different herbs and ingredients, but not really local to the area. I'll probably spend some time in the city, see if I can trade for things I need, do some favours for people.
All right.
Right.
But
Just thought I'd ask.
anything, I think maybe I could find one more thing of use in here. If there's something else you
Right.
really need.
What would we really need? We need to get
I mean,
hold
honestly,
of
an
those
escape,
repeaters.
but... Yeah, we do need to get
how
hold
we
of the
get them
repeaters.
off them.
Oh.
No idea.
If all else fails and we need to get out of there fast, is there a way we can?
Yeah, there kind of already is, isn't there?
Yes, for a fact.
I mean,
All right, no, that's all right.
I mean, there's obviously there's flight, but I think you can do that.
Kind of got that
Yes.
one covered.
I don't suppose you have a potion of taking things away from people who don't want to give you them, do you? Potion
Well-
of stealing.
Actually, yes.
What? Fuck
What?
off.
So she rummages for a moment. I mean, I do have this. It's a little old tin. She opens it. There's like a kind of vaguely aniseedy smelling ointment in there. It's a sort of
smells
hand.
delicious.
You rub it on your hands, and it makes and for a little bit of time, it makes them very supple. And apparently the person Olga got it off was a master pickpocket who used it to really loosen their hands up for thievery.
But
Oh.
what about around someone's neck? Is that going to be enough?
I mean, I don't know. If you're quick, you could maybe undo the clasp and snatch it, but without them noticing, they'd need some sort of distraction, and really, that would be tricky.
Yeah.
We are very distracting.
Certainly, a potential help.
I mean, I'm fantastic at distractions.
Right.
And Jeffrey has very supple fingers.
That's true.
You should get him to give you a massage sometimes. It's amazing.
It sounds like just the worst thing. His tiny, tiny, weird fingers in the knots in my shoulders, which are just so big at this point. I just... Oh.
If you lie like on the bed, he'll do the little dance on your back, and it feels great.
A, that sounds terrible, and B, I don't trust him not to poo there. Like, I just...
Oh, no, that is a risk you take.
I'm sorry, if I lie on that bed, he's going to poo on me.
Yeah,
That's how it
probably.
works. Our lives so weird.
Oh, wow. Otherwise, I've not got a lot else that I have here that comes to mind. You said something to help you escape, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, we might be alright.
I hate to say it, but if we don't find the big caster who's got or anyone with a repeater, a really good way to draw them out is to blow up their church.
I was very, very much feeling in a blowing up churches sort of mood.
Because if we do that and they come running, then that's a good chance to try and take the repeaters. So actually escaping isn't necessarily on our...
Yeah,
We need to stick around a bit.
we kind of do.
Eventually, yeah, getting away, but...
If we blow up the pit first, and then when people start moving, blow up the church as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we can blow a whole church up.
No, but we can do a sizable amount of damage to it if we take
Yeah.
enough gunpowder.
Yeah, it's a legitimate military target at this point.
Yeah,
You can
I
do
mean,
two
but
spells at once.
in terms of, like, structure, you'd be amazed how well things will stand up with lots of bits missing. I'm not sure we're going to be able to sneak around enough to do all the damage we want.
I don't have a lot that's really high damage in here. What have I got? Okay, there's the hand grease, potion of youth. I've got. They've got something that lets you talk to rocks.
That sounds hilarious. But
I want that so
probably
badly.
Talk to
unhelpful.
rocks.
I've never
Do
wanted
they have much
anything
to
more
say?
in my life.
Can rocks talk? Are they talking all the time? Like, how does that work?
With the right things. I only have one dose of that, but if you can ever bring me the body of an earth elemental that hasn't been conjured up by a wizard, I can make a lot more.
Okay.
Noted.
Please,
We'll
if you ever
bear that
talk
in
to a
mind.
rock,
But
let me know how it goes.
if you
I
really want, I can give you the dose of.
No, it is
stone
completely
speech,
non-essential. Just tell me everything if you do it.
I mean, bag me an earth elemental, and you can find out.
Okay.
That is so
I want to
tempting.
talk to all the rocks. It sounds hilarious.
I want
talked
it
to
so
a rock
badly.
Before. What would they be like? Would they be fun?
I hope so. I like to think they'd be fun.
Oh, the world's a weird place. I hope so. Maybe they'd be really boring. I mean, they're fucking rocks, aren't they?
Don't get about
I have no
much,
idea.
But
One day we shall find out, and it will be the best day ever.
It will.
all right.
Like I say, I think I can do one more thing, and then the rest frankly, I kind of need for trade. Or
Yeah.
to
But we
use.
don't want to fleece you, darling.
Do you have anything that could... Well, Celestia's very good at convincing people to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you could give her that might boost that even more?
Oh, we don't need that boosting, darling.
Well, I was just thinking if you were planning on trying to persuade the soldiers to give up their repeaters or something like that.
I mean, we've got spells for that.
Fair, just a thought.
Got spells and a perfume that will do that, actually.
How many doses of that perfume have you got left?
Don't know.
Like the whole bottle? I think you have a few doses.
Yeah, I haven't ever used it.
True,
So it depends how
which
many doses were in it.
When you keep that, if I could have a look at that at some point,
Yeah.
then I might be able. Maybe I can do something with it to
course.
make more.
I mean, you have a point. I suppose we could make me like a hell of powerful, but
As I say, I can't do much to help you with dealing damage, but something utility-based.
out of character, I can't think of anything else.
No, fair enough. There's nothing else you need? Okay, in which case she'll make a last suggestion. All right, if it's escape, then I do have one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It'll only work on one person, so choose wisely.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She produces a small violet-tinted glass bottle that appears to be empty. But peering very carefully at it, you can see like a small amount of wisp of like smoke or something with an inside it.
Ooh, what's that? Fascinating.
Uncork it and put it straight to your lips. From what I understand, this will turn you to gas.
Oh.
Just turns you into smoke for an hour.
That sounds terrifying.
You are still able to move around and things,
and
but
think and
you're still you. It's a bit like, I don't know if you've ever been magically transformed into...
Like that time I was turned into a fish, yes.
A bit like that, I think. But not quite.
that legitimately terrifies me. But it is potentially very useful.
You should. You
How
would be
it might-
able
Hard
to
to hit
fit through
smoke.
small cracks and
Yeah.
things.
It might also save Scamp a spell.
Maybe. Yeah.
But if we're at the point where you're getting low, that's potentially really useful.
So if could you change back on command, or are you just stuck?
You're stuck for an hour, and then you'll reform. That's why it's for escape.
Yeah, not for getting through doors, which would be
You don't
really
use it to get
good.
in. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, actually, let me just check, because you might be able to use this. Let me just check the potion details, because you might actually be able to have control over it. Oh, maybe you do? 1 moment. Oh no, wait, I'm wrong. She thinks, no, wait, no, you can, actually. If you... So while you're all gas... I'm reading from Olga's notes on this, but you can sort of move around by willing yourself into place. And if you try and will yourself all into one place, you'll reform. But you can't become gas again.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that's
it says
helpful.
you can end it as a bonus action.
But it ends. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. No concentration required, but you end it as a bonus action.
So, what else did we have from Clara? 9 Alchemist Fire.
Yep.
1
Yeah,
gaseous
9
form.
Alchemist Fire, the cloak, the face shifter potions, and this.
Awesome. Got it. Just wanted to make sure that I had them down somewhere.
Me too, yeah.
Oh, you're pretty amazing. Do you know that? That's all ridiculously
Very.
helpful. Thank you. Especially the face shifters, so I really have no concept of how we would get in without them, to be honest.
Nope.
That's all right. I'm glad I can help.
Always can.
Of course. Unrelated to all of this, but I've been carrying this around for ages, and I want to know if it is actually what it appears to be. Mm-hmm. And Corzin takes out the potion of water breathing he was given in episode 3 by Olga. So, is this what it appears to be?
She picks it out, examines it, uncorks it, takes like a tiny amount with a like a little dropper, puts it on a little plate of glass, tastes a little. Not exactly.
What? What is it?
Figured.
If you ever want to be a shark for an hour...
Oh.
Right, well, I'll hold on to that.
It's actually enormous amounts more fun than what we thought it was.
Does technically let you breathe water.
Cousin, can I be a shark for an hour?
What, just now?
No, just one day, just for.
I mean,
for fun.
the shark is a guess. I can't tell exactly what it is, but this is definitely a polymorph potion, and
Gosh, she was the worst, wasn't she?
if she said it would. If she said it let you breathe water,
She
then,
couldn't lie. Oh.
then it's probably some sort of fish.
Right.
I hate her. But that's also hilarious.
Well, actually, that might, in this situation, be a lot more useful. We've got the ability to breathe underwater right now. It's why I've never used it.
Lucky.
Yes. But also, I knew it was Olga. I wasn't going to give it to anybody else, was I?
No, good decision.
And I didn't have any way of verifying if it actually was what it appeared to be, so thank you. That is very, very helpful.
Wait, it's a magic
so-
potion. I totally
Yeah.
could have told you what it was any time.
Oh my god, it's literally any day.
Okay.
Why didn't you just ask
You've
when
had
we're
the identify
identifying?
spell since episode 20.
We've identified so many things when we've had time, so many things that didn't need identifying.
Okay. Didn't know that that was a thing that could happen. Okay, fine. I'll just wipe this egg off my face, shall I?
That's alright, I didn't realise either. Like, you just had that whole conversation.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, that sounds absolutely right.
Yeah, it went better than the last time you had egg involving Olga, though, so...
I can confirm canonically that Celestia still makes egg jokes sometimes when they have like eggs for breakfast.
Corzin
Just
would
along
have
the lines
his
of, like,
thoroughly
you're enjoying the egg,
scrambled
Corzin.
these days.
Oh, just a thought, though, on the subject of Olga.
Eggs?
No.
What?
Yes.
I should keep my mouth shut if we're pretending to be people we're not.
Yeah.
Right, understood.
I am still looking out for the opportunity. And you
I
avoid
know
mine.
you
Like
are.
5? No, you're absolutely right. Other people should do the talking.
Talk to the guards and say, yes, we are other guards. And they just go, yeah, we are infiltrators from the rebellion.
I don't think once during the heist you referred to yourself as Golden Kratzer Guildenstern.
I am very cautious. I don't lie, I just admit the truth. A lot of the time. But occasionally I slip up.
Yeah. Nope, you make a strong point. We've got to be careful with that.
Yep.
Bitch will get us.
Yep.
All right. Otherwise, then, good luck.
Thank you.
I give her a hug.
Kneel down right at the end of the chat. Also,
You know what would be really good? It's not something that I don't think you could do. Sorry. I got distracted. I had a really good idea for a magical thing that I definitely can't
Go on, then.
If we can find a way to make stationary spells portable. Like a silence that could be moved around, or like
a magic circle.
A magic circle that could be moved around. Or a tiny hut that could be moved around.
That'd be pretty good.
Then we just have a circle the undead couldn't get in.
I did have an idea about that, actually. I don't know if it'll be relevant once we get there, but if there's only one way in and out...
There's not. There's several ways in. Oh, into the charnel house or the church?
The charnel house.
I don't know.
You only saw one way in.
That's when I got one in.
So put a magic circle at the entrance there so they can't get out.
It's quite a long casting time, though. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's like 10 minutes. Is it a minute?
Yeah.
A minute's
It's
a long time if we're in a rush. But
Yeah.
that is if we have the time. How much holy water do we have?
You have 8 pints.
Yeah, 8 pints of
In
holy
gold?
80.
No, it's not enough then.
I mean, actually, no, it's like 25 per, so it's like for 200.
Okay, it takes 100 gold to do a magic circle.
So you can do 2 magic circles with the holy water you've got on hand.
Holy water, powdered silver, or iron worth at least 100. Right, fine.
Yeah.
Actually, holy water... Is it powdered silver and iron worth 100 gold, or is it 100 gold worth of either of those things?
Like that and or holy water for the sake of this, we're going to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think... Anyway, Celestia was kneeling down next
Yeah,
to
sorry, I got
talk to
distracted by a fun idea.
Apologies.
It was fine. I was going to be all cute, but I feel weird now.
No, be cute. Do it. I want to see it. That's what I've made it super weird now.
Now
That
it's
sounded
weird.
really weird.
No sense of dramatic timing.
I know, I've got
know,
the
right?
worst.
This is what I have to deal with all the time.
Ugh. You have my sympathies.
Thank you. All I was going to say was, please fucking tell us when something's wrong. Shit. So fucking worried about you. Just talk to us.
I didn't...
Please.
Okay. That... Okay. That...
I used to not tell anyone things. And, it led to, you know... If you don't tell anyone things, you end up being sick in your cabin for a week because your withdrawal's that bad.
And then everyone ends up sleeping on the floor outside your cabin, and it's just not fun for anyone.
Shut up.
I'm not sleeping on the floor.
Also, if you do decide to go to the Underdark, tell us. And
Please don't just go.
Because I will totally come with you. Because last time we split the party, a demon broke a ship, so we don't do that now.
Wait,
We
what?
also have friends down there who might be able to help you.
Okay.
Just keep us in the loop. We love you.
Yes.
Not shouting or anything. Just... Yeah, and know that us wanting to help isn't us thinking you're weak or stupid or small or anything.
Not for a second. We know you far better than that.
She looks sort of down to the side, scratches her elbow, winces a little. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Come here.
Gives you a slightly reluctant, but then more enthusiastic.
Oh, if she doesn't want one, I'm not going to hug her, but...
No, it looks a little forced at first, but then she settles into it.
Okay. We'll make it okay, whatever happens, alright?
Okay.
Alright,
Don't
we'll see you
worry,
later.
whatever happens, you'll still be smarter than Corzin.
Says Jeffrey,
And
folding
definitely
his
smarter
arms.
than Jeffrey.
I don't know, I'm getting a bit worried about Jeffrey's intelligence.
Jeffrey's deeply concerning on many levels, to be honest.
What is Corzin's intelligence?
It's
12.
alright, isn't it?
Ah!
Like,
I win.
it's not terrible. It's like slightly above average.
I mean, Celestia's real intelligence is the same, actually. It's 12.
Haha, Scamp's the smartest naturally.
Yep. Has been for a while.
I'm augmented.
Cyber Celestia.
Yes.
All right. Go out there and do something brave and stupid.
Yep.
Always.
Always.
You stand
That's
up.
what we do.
Clara smiles at you all, and you take your new alchemical provisions and make your way on. And I think we are going to pick up with your attempt at actually infiltrating this place.
We did good
Because I
planning.
think-
This was good
You did,
planning.
this is a good planning episode. I think
Also,
this,
we needed
Oh
planning.
yeah. I think
we
I think
need
this
to
is
pick up
gonna-
some flesh from Philippe. That's the thing. We
You go
must
to
forget.
Philippe. It's actually a little involved. Philippe is able to direct you to the appropriate member of the Dead Ice who currently has the bodies, but you scrape a little bit, you cut a little bit of flesh off. It's weirdly pickled, but it should
I
work.
apologise to the corpse as I'm doing it.
The corpse just does not react.
I'm so sorry,
Actually, no.
this is-
When you
this
go
is-
initially, the corpse raises a fist, and there's stop, let them do it. Sorry, it'd be stop, let them do it.
This is, I know this
Just
is
gently
very, this
relaxes.
is weird for me. It's weird for you. I'm sorry about this.
Corpse
But-
does not react after that point.
You know, you probably could have asked Corzin to do it if you felt weird about it.
Yeah, I've done this a lot more than you have.
I'm making Corzin do mine.
The Delay, who's like an older, kind of grizzled-looking Ferocian man with a thick, bushy beard, currently busy cleaning his musket as you're doing this, looks over and goes, "Yes, this is particularly weird."
I think you see, I'd actually like an outside opinion here. I think it's weirder if you apologise to it while you're doing it. Do you think that makes it weirder? What do you think?
I think that makes it weird.
It sort of endows it with a personality that it didn't have until you started apologising to it,
Yeah,
right?
seriously, I try not to think of them as people. It's creeping me out.
Yes, this is making it scary. I agree. See,
Surgical
you're
care.
weird.
Well, it's alright,
This
'cause
person
if
thinks
you
so,
worship
my
the
point.
region, they're not people anymore, so it's fine.
What if you
Do
don't
you
worship the region?
regions?
Are they
I
still not
honestly don't
people?
know
How
my
does this
regions.
work?
I mean,
I don't know.
Yes,
I haven't really
well,
figured that much out.
I was raised Ferocian Regency, so yes.
But it's alright.
Still looks a little creepily at the.
I'm glad somebody's with me.
I just, I was, as a child, I heard stories that if you leave bodies out, then, spirits from the dry hills would come and they would inhabit them, and this feels a lot like that's what's happening.
I think it pretty much is. Would it help if we named them?
Please leave. Please get your
That
pieces of flesh.
would make
Don't you
things so
dare.
much worse, Scamp.
Scamp,
I
if you
shall
name them, they
call
have
you
names
Peter.
forever. No.
Peter turns his sightless
Well, now
eyes
it's
and
fucking
looks at
Peter
you.
forever, isn't it? And now one of us is going to look like Peter in the near future. Do you realise how weird you've just made this?
Causing face palms.
You've just made it so much weirder than it already was.
Stop that and just look straight ahead. Peter turns and looks straight ahead.
Oi, Peter. I want to see if it looks round.
It's been given a command.
Oh, good. Just checking, you know? Why Peter of all the names? We already know a fucking weird Peter. What's wrong with you?
It's alright, I spelled this one with an A on the end.
Oh, right. Yeah, we can all tell. Fucking hell. It's gonna start asking for coffee in a minute.
Yeah, the poor Deadeye's gang member just like ushers you out of the safe room.
I'm so sorry.
Where he's sitting with his body.
I'm so sorry.
It's like, okay, goodbye.
I hope your day only improves from here.
Yes, so do I. Goodbye. And as with that awkward moment, you are ushered out. And unless you want to like commission Fighty to make a dress or something, then we will pick up next time.
A dress for Peter.
Then we will
A
pick
name
up.
tag.
We will pick up next time with your actual infiltration. Thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s. For all I've read of Holy Writ, even though I can't see spirits, I know some things deserve their wrath. Regent be with you on your path.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.